It's 6 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: Bedford Hospital say changes made after baby's death. Home Secretary orders review into deaths in police custody. And double signing takes Watford summer arrivals to 9.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Bedford Hospital say changes have been made following the death of a newborn baby there. At the inquest into the death of Casey Garrett, Coroner Thomas Osborne questioned whether Bedford Hospital is a suitable location to train midwives. He said there was a catalogue of errors leading up to the birth. The Hospital Trust say they have already implemented a range of recommendations. Casey's father, Dean Garrett, says the coroner has also been invited to the hospital to inspect it.
He's agreed to take them up on that offer to visit the maternity ward, and he's also discussed other means of process improvements himself, to again prevent further death. So, to hear that support from the coroner means a lot to us, because ultimately that's what we want to happen.
The Home Secretary, Theresa May, is launching an independent review of deaths in custody. The Independent Police Complaints Commission is investigating 2 deaths at Luton Police Station, Leon Briggs in 2013 and Istiak Youssef in June this year. More from Dominic Cassiani.
This review of how deaths in custody occur comes after the police complaints watchdog has been attacked for failing to get to the bottom of a number of fatalities. Launching the review later today, Mrs May will say she's been struck by the pain and suffering of families amid what appeared to them to be official evasiveness and obstruction. The review, to be chaired by an independent figure, will look at the procedures and processes around deaths in custody and other serious incidents, particularly those involving detention of people with mental illness.
A post-mortem examination is to take place on the body of a 12-year-old British girl who died in a swimming accident on a school trip to France. It's believed Jessica Lawson from East Yorkshire became trapped when a pontoon in a lake overturned. A criminal investigation has been opened to establish whether the activity centre where the school was staying was negligent. A mother in Bedfordshire is calling for more to be done after her 5-year-old daughter was coerced into simulating explicit sex acts at school. The mother, who we're not naming, says the girl was manipulated by a 5-year-old boy who locked her in a toilet cubicle. The council concerned says a safeguarding review is underway. More from Ben Nye.
The school says it has met with the parents and reported the incident to a multi-agency safeguarding hub. But the girl's mother says she feels the school hasn't taken her complaint seriously enough and that the young boy's behaviour raises serious concerns. She's now moved her daughter to a different school.
Britain's car industry says it's had the best first half of the year since 2008. Almost 800,000 cars were produced in the UK between January and June. In sport, Watford have taken their summer signings to 9, with yesterday's double signing of Jose Manuel Jurado from Spartak Moscow and the Napoli defender Miguel Britos. And Liverpool have confirmed the signing of Aston Villa striker Christian Benteke for £32.5 million. The weather dry with sunny spells, but cooler than yesterday, a maximum temperature 21 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
I've invented a new game. When Simon's... Because now we're in Dunster Bubble. When Simon does the news, he does it in the studio with me. He sat opposite me, and I for that whole 3-minute bulletin, which was excellently delivered, I was pretending that he'd just met me in a bar and it was like a really weird conversation opener. Him just telling me fact and ting. Morning, guys. Iain Lee, but BBC Three Counties Radio. Rock, scissors, paper. Things you wave from. And have you ever used a celebrity's toilet? All of this and more is happening today on the show. Right here, guys. Right here. There's a boom and it's going on now. Boom. 03459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
3, 4. 1, 2, 3.
2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
Let me tell you how it will be. There's one for you, 19 for me. 'Cause I'm the tax man. Yeah, I'm the tax man.
I've got no idea what this is, but I've not queued up any of my hotkeys, so I've just got to go with what I've got. So I don't know what this means.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is Gagan Garawal.
On BBC Three Counties Radio.
I don't know. Gagan Garawal. That's
not you.
Is that not me?
No.
On FM, AM, online and digital radio.
This is Gagan Garawal.
On BBC Three Counties Radio.
What are you doing?
My headphones don't work in there, so I'm restarting my computer. So if you want to talk to me, I'm going to have to do
I don't
this.
particularly want to talk to you.
No, I know, but you couldn't talk to Kelly because she was on the phone, and I saw you open the mic, so I thought...
What you then do is you then do the cutthroat, close the mic
I did this
thing.
in my headphones.
Okay.
I did the silent scream and raising the headphones.
You're doing my headphones are too loud, not
No.
thing. Anyway, I don't want you in here, so please. I don't want that in here. Kel, great to have you back.
Who was that fella?
I've got no idea. 03459 455 555 is the telephone number. 81333. Start your text 3CR if you want to give us a text. You can. Now, parents of a newborn baby who died at Bedford Hospital are hoping their son's death will bring about change. Dean and Anna Garrett lost Casey last September after a series of errors at the hospital. At his inquest, the coroner questioned whether Bedford Hospital is a suitable location to train midwives and said he'd be monitoring progress there. Julie Say is the Garrett's solicitor and joins me now. Morning, Julie.
Oh, good morning, Ian.
Thanks for joining us at this ridiculous time of the day. Give us a little bit of background. What it was last September, wasn't it? What happened?
Well, Anna had a normal sort of pregnancy. She went into hospital, and by the time she'd actually arrived, she was actually in the second stage of labour and wanting to push. She was admitted. And unfortunately, when she was handed over to the midwives in the delivery suite, there weren't proper handover notes. So, and then what actually happened was there was a catalogue of, mistakes, basically. This failure to recognise that she was in the second stage of labour, failure to understand that the child was not descending as it should, and it was in a difficult position, and not actually calling the doctors when they should. Eventually, they did actually put on a trace, that's electronically monitoring, and the midwife failed to understand that this was actually a very poor, it was showing that Casey was in distress and call a doctor. And then what happened when he was born, he was effectively, he wasn't breathing, he was flat. The paediatricians tried to revive him, and they eventually did after about 20 minutes, but unfortunately he went on to die. And I think what was quite interesting that arose out of the inquest is how the hospital had put in policies to ensure patient safety, but unfortunately the midwives weren't actually following this. And that's the reason why the coroner was concerned that, should students be trained there? And the lead in governance, Mrs. Gordon, was very concerned about that particular point. She did an independent review. So the coroner and the hospital, they're all working together to see whether they can improve the standards and patient safety. So I think, in a way, Casey didn't die in vain, that something positive did actually come out of this. So we have yet to see what happens. Mr. Osborne's going to be writing to the educational body for them to consider whether students should actually be trained by the midwives at Bedford.
If these, I guess we don't know for sure. The implication is that if there's a series of mistakes and oversights hadn't happened, that Casey would still be alive.
Absolutely, and the coroner accepted that.
Oh dear. And the coroner, an inspection has been ordered by the coroner, which is that's unusual, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I mean, he's a very proactive coroner. It's heartening for us as lawyers, and also for the parents. They really did feel that every concern that they had was aired at the inquest, and it really did enable them to come to terms with their son's death, and that's exactly how an inquest should be. And the coroner takes his role very seriously, and he's working with Bedford and a number of other hospitals to really improve patient safety, which is exactly what we all want. And I was very impressed with the way that he actually managed it. And I have to say the hospital have also been very open, and they want to improve the services that they provide to the public.
I was going to ask what Bedford Hospital have said and what their reaction has been.
I think they've taken this very seriously. They did instigate 2 independent reports, which were critical, which is very important, and it appears that they have actually taken on board the concerns and they've dealt with it. The midwives involved have undergone further training, and they're going to be, and Mr. Osborne's going to be meeting with the chief executive to ensure that these changes and that the midwives are actually complying with the protocols and guidance. That's just good practice. So it's a very proactive and a follow-up. Because what happens is sometimes you have an inquest and then, you hear 6 months later the same things happen. What we don't want is this to continue to happen. Because it's bad for the hospitals, it's bad for morale, and of course you end up with injured people.
How are Dean and Anna now?
Now, I mean, obviously they've been very severely affected by it, but they've been hugely dignified. They too want just to improve, hospital practice, and they're devastated that this has happened. It was their first child. I mean, any child. It's just it's unspeakable what's happened. But they feel that in some way, Casey's death has been a force for change. But it's no sort of real consolation for them.
Julie, it's a really sad story, isn't it? And it sounds like they are a very special couple. And Julie,
they are. I've been hugely impressed with the way that they've dealt with it. And I mean, most parents, I don't think they could have seen the wider picture, but they have. And it's such a personal tragedy for them and their whole family.
Thanks very much for your time, Julie. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Julie Say, the solicitor for Dean and Anna Garrett, who lost their son Casey after just a lot of mistakes. It's sad, eh? And it's sad. Oh dear, right, 03459 455 555. Yesterday was a very shady show, not a lot of light. Don't worry, we're going to have some light this morning, guys. I am looking for contestants to play rock, scissors and paper. We'll have some of that. If you want to play Weak Link of the Chain, you can have some of that as well. And what things do you find yourself waving from? What does that even mean? I will explain in a bit. Let's get the Trav.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Not much getting in your way across the region so far this morning. In Stevenage, Martins Way has a lane closed both ways for roadworks between Canterbury Way and the A602 Hitchin Road. Expect some delays later this morning. A delay is possible too in Bedford on Paula Radcliffe Way. Those roadworks at Cutthroat Lane likely to cause some problems later. No problems I can see on the trains. Tom Watts, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Yeah, nice one, Tom. That's what I'm talking about. Morning, Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio, 6:15. These are your headlines. Bedford Hospital says changes have been made following the death of a newborn baby there and criticism at this week's inquest. The Home Secretary, Theresa May, is launching an independent review of deaths in police custody. And an investigation is underway after a 12-year-old British girl died in a swimming accident on a school trip to France.
Treasure Quest on BBC Three Counties Radio.
I don't want this show to be censored. You've got a clean house.
No.
So, ladies and gentlemen, feel free to text in whatever you want to me.
Hello. Sorry. Jive here.
Are you all right for all this? Gosh, I thought we were going to have our first live death.
Saturday mornings from 9.
I'm going to help the female section of the quiz this morning.
All Liz will do is just not let you have part 2.
It's a new feature. Let's find out. Ernie, how are you in your big rubbery face?
It's a cross between Jacques Pat... hang on.
Treasure Quest. Every Saturday morning from 9 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
The Germans are a patient people, and good things come to those who wait.
like this when the world's a bit amiss and the lights go down across the trailer park. I get down, I feel had, feel on the verge of going mad, and then it's time to punch the clock. I put on some makeup, turn on the tape deck, and put the wig back on my head. Suddenly I'm Miss Midwest Midnight Checkout Queen until I head home and I put myself to bed. I look back on where I'm from, look at the woman I've become, and the strangest things seem suddenly routine. I look up from my vermouth on the rocks, a gift wrapped wig spit in the box of towering velveteen. I put on some makeup, some love and makeup. I'm pulling the wig down from the shelf. Suddenly I'm Miss Beehive 1963 until I wake up and I turn back to myself. Some girls, they got natural ease. They wear it any way they please, with their French flip curls, perfume magazines. Wear it up, let it down. This is the best way that I've found to be the best you've ever seen. I put on some makeup, turn on the 8-track. I'm pulling the wig down from the shelf. Suddenly I'm Miss Farrah Fawcett from TV until I wake up and I turn back to myself. Shag bar, level bar, coffee, Hamilton, sausage girl, chicken wing, it's all because of you. With your blow dry feather back, only home with you. Flip, roll, frizz, pop, it's all because of you. It's all because of you. It's all because of you. Okay, everybody. I put on some makeup, turn on the 8-track. I'm pulling the wig down from the shelf. Suddenly I'm this punk rock star of stage and screen, and I'm never turning back.
Yes!
Across beds, hearts, and bugs.
Yes.
This is Gagan Garawal.
This guy
On
again.
BBC Three Counties
This
Radio.
guy again. Okay. This guy again. Okay. 03459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call now. We'll do that in a second. Okay. Oh, dear, blimey. I feel I lost the vibe ever so slightly. I think I can get the vibe back by doing this.
As you know, I deal in facts and not fiction.
Hang on a second. We need to go a bit louder. There we go.
As you know, I deal in facts and not fiction.
Ladies and gentlemen, the vibe is strong. Luckily I didn't play. I very nearly, Catherine, and I very nearly played this. I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't. Your positioning is all to cock.
I know, someone's been messing with my microphone.
Yeah. So,
there we go.
Perfect. Don't move, Mr. Mannering. Now this is man alive. There's some heavy stories this morning. We've been contacted by a mum from Bedfordshire whose daughter was sexually assaulted by another child at school. She wants the boy involved excluded or at least punished, and is angry that hasn't happened. They're going to be very vague. We're not going to be very specific about where the school is or who the people are or anything like that. Primarily because the two children involved, the one who was assaulted, the one who did the assault, are they're both 5 years old. This is a real mess of a story. And normally we speak to a reporter about the details of the story, but due to the vulnerable nature of the people involved, there is limits to what we can and what we want to say, aren't there, Kath?
But I think it is an important conversation because it's about expectation and maybe the way people think things should be handled. They wouldn't be privy to every way that things are being handled. Okay, so this involves two very young children who we're not naming. Of course, we're not, and we're also not going to give any hints as to which school we're talking about. So we won't be naming the girl's mother, but you will be talking to her later on in the programme because we don't want to identify the young girl. And this case raises interesting questions about what behaviour is appropriate in children of 5 and the way inappropriate behaviour is dealt with if and when it does arise. So that's why we're going ahead with this.
This behaviour, and we should tread carefully, don't worry, it's worrying on both sides of the story. What are the details that we are allowed to give away
and of
this
course,
morning?
We've got to say that although we've had it confirmed that there was a safeguarding incident at this particular school and that it is being dealt with, what we have, the most detail we have, is from the girl's mother. Okay, that's not that I doubt her word, but it's just that we have one side of this.
Yeah.
The girl's mother has told us that her daughter was locked in a toilet cubicle with another child, a 5-year-old boy, during lesson time. Now, according to the mother's account, the girl was coaxed into simulating a sex act and then told to keep what happened a secret.
Yep.
She didn't. She told her mum. Her mum took it to the school. The school responded by meeting the parents of both children and also bringing in a multi-agency safeguarding team who were investigating. I'm guessing that is standard practice.
Yes.
It's very strict on that now. That's not good enough, though, for the mum who emailed us. She wants the boy punished and excluded, and as that's not happening, she's planning to remove her daughter from the school.
Here's the thing. I wouldn't want my kid going anywhere near a kid that did that. I also wouldn't want a 5-year-old punished for that because we know a little bit more than we are being prepared to say. But for a 5-year-old to know what that is, they've either done it themselves, had it done themselves by an adult, or they've watched some really hardcore pornography. Basically, they've seen
or seen it happen.
They've either experienced it themselves or they've seen stuff that a 5-year-old should not see, and that's what you don't do this act.
Just trying stuff out.
Just trying stuff out when you're a kid. You don't think as a 5-year-old, oh, I wonder. You do it because you've seen it or you've experienced it.
And indeed, the mum's email that the mum we were speaking to said that this is one of those that is a red flag generally for
You've
the
got
social services.
I mean, it's terrible what happened to this girl. Completely, I'm not.
But how on earth did that boy know about that?
Exactly, that boy needs protection. I would
say. So we've been speaking to the local authority.
Yep.
We know which local authority it is. Of course, we've been having a conversation with them. But you know what? I'm not going to name the local authority either. We know it's Bedfordshire. Okay, so there are a number of them there. The council is aware of a safeguarding incident at the school, and in view of the concerns expressed by the parents, we are reviewing the actions taken at the time to safeguard the children involved. It's not appropriate for the council or the school to go into specific details of any individual safeguarding case, given that we are required to manage these matters confidentially and with due regard to all the evidence available.
It's a really awkward, uncomfortable story. I think that the calling for the child who did it to be punished is You can't punt. Helped, I would suggest, is a slightly better way of looking at it.
I do wonder whether they're communicating effectively with the mother in this. If she thinks nothing's happening, that's the wrong impression to give her, isn't it?
Oh, do you know what? I'm really struggling to find a song that isn't hideously inappropriate. Look, I'm getting old. The next song is It Takes Two. And I'm not making light of the story. I'm not. I've gone into this really protective kind of old man dad mode.
Well, yeah, you know why? Because we're talking about babies.
Yeah. And I'm not going to play a song. I'm looking at the Kinks and just every Kink song that it just seems to be completely inappropriate. So we won't play a song. Thank you, Catherine. 03459. Quick one before you go.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Rock.
Paper.
Oh no, you did that. That was a delayed.
It wasn't. All right, go. 1, 2, 3.
Paper.
Scissors.
No, you flipped it.
I didn't flip nothing.
Well, all right, best of 3.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Scissors.
Scissors as well.
well.
Scissor sisters. We're scissor sisters.
Let's call it a draw.
But I won though.
If you want.
Okay, thanks. 03459 455 555. You want some of this? You can have some of this. It's very simple. Also, here's the thing now. I spent a week last week waving at people. It's this weird phenomenon, right? We spent a lot of time either hiring a little boat, or going on a miniature train, right? Why on those two things is it acceptable? It's kind of standard to wave to people.
Because you look ridiculous.
Well, we're on this train. It's a tiny train. The kids would have loved it. We're on this tiny train, and there are people as close to as close to me as you are now. And we just. But the thing is, the kids obviously were waving, and that's fine. And then the other kids and other adults wave back, and that's fine. But I'm there, and I'm waving at adults.
Yeah.
Like I'm the Queen or something.
Children wave at anybody anyway, even in the car.
Yeah,
all the time.
I'll give you that.
I was jogging past the child, and they waved and said, "Hello, jogger."
Here's the problem I have with modern society. Well, it was a great story, mate. It really was.
What did you say back?
I said, "Hello, stand still person."
I really hope that makes the podcast, because that's what we want more of. But this is the thing, right? Because kids aren't allowed to crawl around in the back of the car anymore, right? They're not allowed to they can't turn around and wave to cars behind them.
No, or do whacker waves. That's what we used to do.
I tell you what it is.
I think it's just gone politically correct.
Exactly.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Further into London on the North Circular, it's heavy between Edmonton at the A10 and the Clockhouse interchange. Heading west, expect some delays later in Paula Radcliffe Way, the A6 in Bedford. There are roadworks there still at Cutthroat Lane and Clapham Road. No problems I can see on the train so far this morning. Tom Watts, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning, sir.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 6:30. I'm Simon Oxley. Bedford Hospital say changes have been made following the death of a newborn baby there and criticism at this week's inquest. The coroner questioned whether Bedford Hospital is a suitable location to train midwives. The Home Secretary, Theresa May, is launching an independent review of deaths in police custody. Her review comes as the Independent Police Complaints Commission continues to investigate 2 deaths at Luton Police Station. And an investigation is underway after a 12-year-old British girl died in a swimming accident on a school trip to France.
Three Counties Sport.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Watford have taken their summer signings to 9 with yesterday's double signing of Jose Manuel Gerardo from Spartak Moscow and the Napoli defender Miguel Britos. Gerardo played under Watford coach Quique Flores at Atletico Madrid, whilst Britos says former Napoli teammate Valon Berami, another Watford summer arrival, helped persuade him to come to Vicarage Road. Liverpool have confirmed the signing of Aston Villa striker Christian Benteke for £32.5 million. He becomes their 7th summer signing, their second most expensive ever. Former Liverpool striker John Aldridge says Benteke's consistency will be a big boost.
You look at his strike rate and it's 1 in every 2. It's something what we need when you look at what happened last year when we had 4 strikers who only scored 8 goals between them for different reasons. But he's a massive presence. He can put himself about. So So they've taken a lot of weight off the likes of Coutinho, Firmino and whoever's playing in and alongside them.
Stevenage chairman Phil Wallace says building a new North Stand at the Lamex Stadium will be a pivotal moment in the club's history. The Borough Council has granted planning permission for the new 2-storey structure, which will seat over 1,500 people with additional conference and leisure facilities. Work could start this summer, with the new stand opening in a year's time. Former Stevenage striker Calvin Zola played for Luton in last night's 4-2 friendly win at Thurrock. Jake Howells scored twice for the Hatters, with Pelly Ruddock playing 60 minutes on his latest return from injury. Britain's Chris Froome retains the Tour de France leader's yellow jersey going into today's 18th stage. The Team Sky rider has a 3-minute 10-second advantage, but BBC commentator Rob Hales says it isn't his title yet.
He's completely solid at the moment. They gave him absolutely everything they could. Admittedly, it was only on a short, not particularly steep final climb. He was singled out, Chris Froome. He was on his own. Everybody else seemed to have teammates, especially Movistar, and he's dealt with it extremely well up to now, but we still have a lot of climbs to come. It's not done yet.
BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 7.
Thank you very much.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is Gagan Garawal
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Are there headphones with a shorter lead, like a lead about this long? Because every day I come in here and there's a long lead and it gets tangled up in my wheels and it does my flipping head in.
Let's Marvin Gaye and get it on. You got the healing that I want. Just like they say in the song. Until the dawn, let's Marvin Gaye and get it on. We got this king size to ourselves. Don't have to share with no one else. Don't keep your secrets to yourself. It's Kama Sutra show and tell. Yeah. Whoa, there's loving in your eyes that pulls me closer. It's so subtle, I'm in trouble, but I love to be in trouble with you. Let's Marvin Gaye and get it on. You got the healing that I want. Just like they say in the song. Until the dawn, let's Marvin Gaye and get it on. You got to give it up to me. I'm screaming mercy, mercy, please. Just like they say in the song. Until the dawn, let's Marvin Gaye and get it on. And when you leave me all alone, I'm like a stray without a home. I'm like a dog without a bone. I just want you for my home. I got to have you, babe. There's love in your eyes that pulls me closer. It's so subtle, I'm in trouble, but I'd rather be in trouble with you. It's Marvin Gaye and get it on. Ooh, baby, I got that healing that you want, yeah. Like they say in the songs, on to the dawn, let's Marvin Gaye and get it on. Let's Marvin Gaye.
Let's turn that rubbish off. Dennis, what you got for us?
Are you going to make any comment about the demonstration outside the L&D about the cleaners and the cooks? Because I've had a session with them over the weekend, and there's nothing wrong with either of them. Absolutely superb. The hospital couldn't do more for me when I was just... I had an accident, and
you wet yourself?
The food was excellent, and the cleaning was out of this world.
So hang on, what demonstration? You're on, Dennis, and I know you. We're making light of it, and you're a good sport. But I know you've been quite. You know, you had a poorly incident recently. What is this protest then?
The governors of the hospital are talking about putting it out to outside tenders for cleaners and for cooks, and it means the food will be coming in pre-cooked to be reheated. God help it,
It's happening everywhere, isn't it?
It is.
And I guess it's to save money, isn't it?
Yeah, but then you see, if they charge the same amount for each meal as they do now, they've then got to, the company who's doing it's got to make a profit, so they'll take some of that money.
Yeah.
That's a problem, I think. But as I say, I was in there for nothing very brilliant, but they treated me like a king. The police were spotless, and the food was, I even had roast turkey on Sunday.
Oh, look at you with your roast turkey on a Sunday.
Not bad, actually.
Dennis?
The staff was brilliant.
Can you hear me? Dennis?
Yes.
You can hear me, can you?
Yeah, I can, yes.
You're just being rude. Right. Have you ever had it away in a phone box?
No, I'm too fat to have it away in a phone box.
There's a story, it was in the papers yesterday, and we didn't get a chance to do it yesterday, because it was kind of a heavy show yesterday with Penn School, which we're coming back to at some point, guys, don't worry. Don't worry about that. Don't worry, PR team, who weren't paid, by the way. We did suggest yesterday that the PR team hired, employed by the trustees at Penn School may or may not be being paid, and we've can confirm they were not being paid, so there you go. There's a story in the papers, right? It's a really unglamorous picture, Dennis. I'm trying to find a record. There we go. It's a really unglamorous picture. It's a couple, and I'll be honest, he looks like... Did you ever see the James Bond film Moonraker?
Yes.
Right, you remember Jaws in that, the big fella?
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. He looks like Jaws. And she looks like my nan, right?
Yes.
And they are having it away in a telephone box.
Christ, that must be desperation.
Well, it says... The headline
where
is...
Where the hell was the handset at the time?
The headline is, we were on our way to buy a piranha. What? We were on our way to buy piranha when we haddock away. The shameless couple photographed romping in a phone box. And they are, the thing is, right, he's got... OK, young ears. His trousers around his ankles.
Yes.
Her trousers are pulled down a bit, and he's wearing his sunnies. And they're in the phone box, and there's someone just taking photos of them, and they're just looking. But, you know, the shameless couple photographed romping in a phone box said they were taken short on their way to buy fish from a garden centre. Now... Sorry? What?
Maine.
What? Sorry?
You chum the husk right out of the corn. Maine.
Who are these guys? What?
You've got those banjos strumming, thumping out a tune to beat the band.
What?
The whole plantation is a humming since you put Dixie back to Dixieland.
Hey, OK, I think they've stopped now. So, I've been caught short before, but I've just gone behind a bush and by myself. I've never been caught so... I've never felt so, I can't say that word. I won't be able to say that word. I can say randy. I've never felt so randy that I've had to go into a phone box, Dennis.
I can't picture this fella with jaws and a piranha, two sets of teeth fighting each other.
Exactly. Thank you, Dennis. It really is an hideous picture. Amateur boxer... Oh, this is nice, isn't it? I don't know. Okay. All day long I wouldn't have to work on. Amateur boxer Gavin Wayne, 30, and 41-year-old Lisa Curley, add 20 to that. Added that they do not understand the fuss after the Sun reported their moan box antics.
Do you know what really shocks me about this? That they found a phone box.
Oh, yes.
I haven't seen one for ages.
The lovers revealed they are used to getting amorous under canal bridges, on riverbanks,
romantic,
in parks, fields and hedgerows. I'll be honest.
In a hedgerow?
In a hedgerow.
It's going to be prickly, isn't it?
That's a bush, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, well. I'll be honest, right? The idea of having it away outside has never, ever... I remember years ago, right, when we were at college, and a girl I was going out with said, Steve and Becky, I shouldn't use their real names, but I just have. They were having it away out on the grounds of the college. We should do that. I remember thinking, really? I don't want to. And then luckily we couldn't find anywhere. It would just been cold.
What, in the whole grounds? Weren't looking hard enough.
And that was another problem, but it does not appeal to me. On a beach, I don't want to get sand there. That's going to chafe. In the woods, well, you're going to get muddy. Supposing a dog comes. There's just nothing.
Just throw a stick.
Or give him a bone. No. There's nothing... we got the vibe back. I've got too much vibe now. There's nothing about doing it outside that appeals to me on any level. I barely want to do it in the bed. I just want to go to sleep these days. It's a thoroughly... I have to ask the question, Catherine.
Don't ask the question.
I have to ask the question. Where... Don't finger my LPs. Where have you been? You mucky pup. 03459 455 555. Where have you been, you mucky pup? You just phone up and you say, Tesco's car park. On the
I haven't been there.
Top deck of a number 42, and then you put the phone down. That's our phone in. Where have you been, you mucky pup? 03459 455 555. Dealey, take that to the streets. Catherine, where have you been, you mucky pup?
Sorry.
Yeah?
My dad listens to this.
Oh. I tell you what, I won't say. I promise you on my kid's life, I won't say it on air. But just tell me.
And then there was the.
Bear with me, dear listener. It turns out it's quite a long list. Hang on.
But that's not really outside, is it?
Well,
so
I mean, it was
half out.
It's undercover, but it
okay. So then there was.
Oh. We're going to have to continue this conversation after the show because we finish at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Where have you been, you mucky pup? 03459. Oh, there we go. The people are phoning in. 03459 455 555. The lovers reveal. Oh, we've done it. Middleweight Gavin said, I had a day off from training. We both have fish tanks, with me keeping piranhas. And Lisa. with me keeping piranhas. And Lisa as a couple of turtles.
So they do have things in common apart from horizontal jogging.
And we were on our way to look at the fish section.
Oh.
Hang on a second. Is he calling in on what the thing... OK, I'm just going to ask the question. I want the answer, then he can go away. Alan, where have you been, you mucky pup?
The roundabout, just up from your old office.
With which roundabout specifically? There are a couple.
The one in, Luton? The office, the roundabout just down the road from your old office.
Yeah, the one near the college.
Is it the one near near the college, or the one off the Junction 10?
I'm just by just down the road from, PC World, is it?
Thank you very much indeed. OK, there we go. Thank you, Alan. And we don't need to know any more details. Where have you been, you mucky pup? 03459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the anti-clockwise M25, building up now between junction 21 for the M1 and 19 for Watford. Also heavy anti-clockwise between junction 17 for Maple Cross and 15 for the M4. Joining the M25, it's busy on the A405, the North Orbital Road at Bricketwood at junction 21A. Borehamwood on the A1 going south. That's queuing already between Holiday Inn and Stirling Corner. No problems I can see on the trains. Tom Watts, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much, Tom. Where have you been, you mucky pup? I don't want details, I don't want names, I just want the location, then you hang up. Or you can send it in a text, 81333, start your text 3CR at 6:46. BBC Three Counties Radio. Weather coming up soon, but before that, here's the news. Bedford Hospital say changes have been made following the death of a newborn baby there, and criticism at this week's inquest. The Home Secretary, Theresa May, is launching an independent review of deaths in police custody. And an investigation is underway after a 12-year-old British girl died in a swimming accident on a school trip to France. 03459 455 555. Here's Sarah with the weather.
Beds, Hearts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thanks very much indeed. A fine day today, but all eyes on tomorrow, which is going to be pretty miserable, it looks like. We'll come to that in just a second. It's a pretty chilly start this morning, actually. Temperatures overnight have been in the high single figures, so watch out for that as you step out the door. I think you might notice a difference this morning. A much cooler, fresher start. Lots of sunshine right now, though, across the three counties, and we'll keep it for the next few hours. But there is some high cloud to move towards us by the end of the morning, turning the sunshine hazy this afternoon. But a top temperature of 19 Celsius, 66 in Fahrenheit. It is a fine and very usable day today. As I say, all eyes on tomorrow. We've got an area of low pressure spinning towards us from the southwest. The computer forecast models have not been agreeing on the timing and the positioning of this rain. At the moment, it does look like all three counties are in line for it after breakfast time right the way through the rest of the day. And we could have some quite heavy rain through the afternoon, giving us some pretty impressive totals by the end of the day, more than an inch in some spots. But as I say, the computer forecast model's still not quite agreeing. And the three counties actually could be the border between drier weather towards the north and wet weather towards the south. So we could potentially not see as much as we might be talking about at the moment. We'll keep you posted on that one. Just 14 or 15 degrees as that rain comes through. It'll feel quite autumnal. Still with us in the early hours of Saturday, but clearing away later. Lots of sunshine for the afternoon. Top temperature of 18 Celsius. And yet more rain for Sunday.
Nick Coffer on BBC Three Counties Radio.
For over 6 decades, comedian Ken Dodd has been touring and selling out theatres.
I'm very blessed, actually, Mr. Nick, because if the jokes aren't connecting as much as I'd like them to, I can always burst into song.
Weekdays from 12.
Much of that music, not least the Happy Mondays, has not only stood the test of time, it still sounds as fresh as it did then.
Certainly does, yeah. 60s knockoffs. It's sure that weren't that other lot, not us.
Nick Coffer.
Live at Woburn Abbey for the Woburn Abbey Garden Shed. It's very nice to actually speak to you in your home. You are the very proud garden manager.
I am indeed, yes. I'm proud of what we've achieved as a team here at Woburn. It's fantastic.
Nick Coffer. Weekdays from 12 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
We're asking the delicate question, and we're going to handle it delicately. And I know that we've got, some quite heavy stories. And oh, hello, sir. Where's the cover for them? Where is this?
Oh no, I shuffled it uncomfortably earlier, and you removed it.
Following Brazil's bossa nova comes the magic Tijuana sound as the newest, freshest, gayest Latin tribute to popular music. Straight from the lively Mexican border town of Tijuana. There's not a town called Tijuana.
There is.
Is there? That is nonsense.
There's
That's like
also-
saying there's a country called Dixieland. Oh?
Well,
Let me get on Google Maps, hang on.
some would have fought you for that.
This is the music of today, living, vital, exciting. It all hinges on the great Latin beat of the distinctive mariachi trumpet. So what we've done is we've watered it down to bland white music.
Do you know what else is a town in Mexico? Chihuahua.
Chihuahua. What does that mean?
Little dog.
No, but I know what it is, but what does it mean?
Place.
No, is it?
It's probably an Indian name. It is a place.
Chihuahua's not a place.
Of course it is.
Of course it's not.
It is.
It is not. Chihuahua is not a place.
Chihuahua.
Chihuahua is not a place.
It is.
We're asking this morning, what are we asking?
Where have you been, you mucky pup?
Where have you been, you mucky pup? 03459. Hang on a minute. Who's this text? Do you realise you have annoying trumpet-type music playing non-stop while Iain is talking? It's really annoying. I don't know what you're talking about. Annoying trumpet-type music? No idea.
Who's he talking to?
Paul says on the text, the answer to the question, where did you do it, you mucky pup?
No, where have you been?
Where have you been?
Careful.
Where have you been, you mucky pup? I, with a girl in a photo booth in Euston Station in 1984. And again on the train. Hey. Eddie, where have you been, you mucky pup? I think Eddie's still there. Alan, where have you been, you mucky pup?
On an aeroplane toilet.
Oh.
Hey, was there someone there with you?
Yeah, there was someone there with me, yeah. And when we opened the door to come out, there was 3 people queuing outside the toilet.
Please tell me you got a round of applause.
Well, they all smiled.
There we go. Thank you. We don't need any more details. I've often wondered if it's like when you pop a champagne cork or open a bottle of wine or at high altitudes. There's a real,
Yeah.
You know. Paul, where have you been, you mucky pup?
Hello there, on a rickshaw going across the Main Street Bridge in Austin, Texas.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't need any more details. There's so much I would like to ask him, but I can't because of the rules of the game. Eddie's back. Eddie, where have you been, you mucky pup?
I've been in a toilet on a train. It was on a Saturday night. It was very, very busy, and as I came out, I got a round of applause.
He got the round of applause. You're getting one now, brother. You're getting one now. Oh, I feel like I preempted him with the well done. A round of applause.
As Justin would say, that certainly deserves a spont.
It does. Gosh, Scott says, in answer to the question, where have you been, you mucky pup? The Blitz experience. And I replied, I don't know what that is. His reply is... It's like a World War II Madame Tussauds in London.
Okay, but arguably, that is what went on in the blackouts.
It's the Blitz experience. Baby boomers, guys. That is literally the Blitz experience. Wowzers. I think we can get away with this, although it turns out that one of the big bosses... This is his breakfast show of choice when... Well, he's responsible for many breakfast shows. He chooses to listen to this one.
So if you'd like to give us a call, sir.
And tell us how much longer we've got on our contract, sir, then we'll be happy to have some of that. 03459 455 555 is the phone number. Where have you been, you mucky pup? Pete the Meat says, on top of a pallet of sugar whilst working at Tesco.
What?
Kelly
People
Betts!
put that in their cakes.
Made to fight into the mirror. Time has changed what I am. Things these eyes have seen have made me a different man. Walking in the shadows, but I know my time will come. I can see this. I can see this. When the darkness runs so deep in me, I just stand and face the sun. I am fearless. When weakness grabs a hold of me, I just prove that I am strong. I can see this. I can see this. When the darkness runs so deep in me, I just stand and face the sun. I am fearless. I am fearless. When I was younger, running in these streets, they nearly pulled me under with their lies and their deceit. Down to the ground and dragged through the dirt, but I always come back fighting, no matter how it hurts. I'm walking in the shadows, but I know my can see this. I can see this. When the darkness runs too deep in me, I just let it face the sun. I am fearless. When weakness grabs a hold of me, I just prove that I am strong. I can see this. I can see this. When the darkness runs too deep in me, I just let it face the sun. I am fearless. I am fearless.
I'm not just saying it. Seriously, I love you guys, and I am not just saying that. I'm not just saying that. Honestly,
We never see each other anymore, man.
honestly,
Oh.
Cal, you're so beautiful. You too. Cass, you're so honestly, and I'm not just saying that. I know what you're thinking. Who's just saying? I'm not just saying that. I love you. Hey, that's the best one we've had in ages.
I'm glad
you
you
thought
like
I was
it.
going to hate that.
Yeah, I did.
I thought
We thought we were going to hate it.
I thought the drumming was a bit silly, but then do you know what? I thought, that's the sound of youth.
It really is.
It is frenetic computer drumming because he's had to tap away like that on his keyboard. He's had to do, it's like playing Daley Thompson's Decathlon. You don't know what I'm talking about, but
No idea.
the old people. He's done that with his drum machine. He's had to go ZX, 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 ZX. And I enjoyed that. Who is that? When can I meet him? When's he coming round for tea?
Yeah, whenever.
Who is it?
The singer on it is Stealth from Rickman's Mirth.
What's his
The
real
rest
name?
is Sean Smith. The rest is drum sound and bassline
They're
Smith.
all called Sean, these singers, aren't they? There's Sean Puffy Coombs.
Sean Maguire.
Sean Ryder. Sean Ryder. Sean the Sheep.
Yeah.
Oh, Sean that went in EastEnders. What was he called? Sean Maguire.
Sean. She just said that, mate.
Oh, sorry, man. I'm still grieving.
I tell you what, I'm not just. I'm so looking forward to the travel, and I'm not just saying that seriously. It's just, so good.
Travel news for beds, cards, and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Well, on the M25 anti-clockwise, it's slow between junction 21 for the M1 and 19 for Watford. Also anti-clockwise, you'll find it's busy from junction 17 for Maple Cross around to 15 for the M4. Coming into London at Borehamwood on the A1, heading south, it's queuing between Holiday Inn and Stirling Corner. On the North Circular at Palmer's Green going west, you'll find queues between Edmonton and the Clockhouse interchange. Tom Watts, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much, Tom. On the answer to the question, where have you been, you mucky pup? Simon says on Twitter, well, there's a restaurant in Woburn that won't be having us back.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: Bedford Hospital say changes made after baby's death. Home Secretary orders review into deaths in police custody. And double signing takes Watford's summer arrivals to 9.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Bedford Hospital say changes have been made following the death of a newborn baby there. At the inquest into the death of Casey Garrett, Coroner Thomas Osborne questioned whether Bedford Hospital is a suitable location to train midwives. He said there was a catalogue of errors leading up to the birth. The hospital trusts say they have already implemented a range of recommendations. Casey's father, Dean Garrett, says the coroner has also been invited to the hospital to inspect it.
He's agreed to take them up on that offer to visit the maternity ward, and he's also discussed other means of process improvements himself, to again prevent further deaths. So, to hear that support from the coroner means a lot to us, because ultimately that's what we want to happen.
The Home Secretary, Theresa May, is launching an independent review of deaths in custody. Her review comes as the Independent Police Complaints Commission continues to investigate 2 deaths at Luton Police Station, Leon Briggs in 2013 and Istiak Yusuf in June this year. Here's Dominic Cassiani.
This review of how deaths in custody occur comes after the police complaints watchdog has been attacked for failing to get to the bottom of a number of fatalities. Launching the review later today, Mrs May will say she's been struck by the pain and suffering of families amid what appeared to them to be official evasiveness and obstruction. The review, to be chaired by an independent figure, will look at the procedures and processes around deaths in custody and other serious incidents, particularly those involving detention of people with mental illness.
A post-mortem examination is to take place on the body of a 12-year-old British girl who died in a swimming accident on a school trip to France. It's believed Jessica Lawson from East Yorkshire became trapped when a pontoon in a lake overturned. A criminal investigation has been opened to establish whether the activity centre where the school was staying was negligent. A mother in Bedfordshire is calling for more to be done after claiming her 5-year-old daughter was coerced into simulating explicit sex acts at school. The mother, who we're not naming, says the girl was manipulated by a 5-year-old boy who locked her in a toilet cubicle. The council concerned says a safeguarding review is underway. More from Ben Nye.
The school says it has met with the parents and reported the incident to a multi-agency safeguarding hub. But the girl's mother says she feels the school hasn't taken her complaint seriously enough and that the young boy's behaviour raises serious concerns. She's now moved her daughter to a different school.
The Chief Medical Officer has begun a campaign to highlight the impending ban on smoking in cars when children are present. Anyone breaching the ban, which comes into force in October, will face a £50 fine. In sport, Watford have taken their summer signings to 9 with yesterday's double signing of Jose Manuel Jurado from Spartak Moscow and Napoli defender Miguel Britos. And Liverpool have confirmed the signing of Aston Villa striker Christian Benteke for £32.5 million. The weather dry with sunny spells but cooler than yesterday, a maximum temperature 21 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Thank you, Simon. We've got one hanging over from before. There's some heavy stuff on the show this morning, and as you know, sometimes there is you can hear the gear changes. You can hear a lot of clunky gear changes today. I hope you can put up with it. We're going to go to some serious stuff in a second, but there is a story in the Sun about a couple having it away in a phone box. They are brazen. The question this morning is, where have you been, you mucky pup? Don't need any names, don't need any pack drill. I just need to know, Bruno, where have you been, you mucky pup?
In the public grounds of Warwick Castle.
Of Roy Castle?
Warwick Castle.
Oh, Warwick Castle! Thank you. I thought you meant like in Roy Castle's back garden. Dedication, that's what you need. Thank you for hanging on, Bruno. It was worth it, trust me. Oh, man, I know. We got some serious stuff coming up. You got to have a laugh, innit? 03459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's one of those. It's one of those shows. We had a heavy day yesterday, and we got a heavy show today. And what you gonna do? We've not even got to the woman putting her kid in a washing machine yet. We've not. Well, it's not quite that story. I've fallen into the Daily Mail bandwagon. There's a brilliant story about a mum, a kid, and a washing machine, and the outrage it has caused. It's kind of one of those made-up outrages, I think. We'll get to that in a bit. And in regards to this record that I've been playing all morning, Iain has texted him. Iain, can I admit, I have that album you're playing. The cover is golden with a picture of a trumpet. He is describing that album, Catherine. I'm holding up the album. Has he got it right?
He's got it absolutely spot on.
Why would you have it? And if you paid any more than the 10 pence I paid for it, then you're what I like to call sad. 10 pence that cost me. Have we got any texts before we crack on? Any more texts, or have I just done them?
You have done them.
Thank you very much indeed. 03459 455 555 is the phone number. You can send us a text 81333. Start your text 3CR. Now to a very sad story. A coroner is questioning Bedford Hospital's fitness to train midwives after the death of a newborn last year. An inquest heard there was a catalogue of errors before Casey Garrett's birth, and a series of missed opportunities led to his death. Coroner Thomas Osborne says he'll be inspecting the hospital's progress. Well, Casey's parents are Dean and Anna Garrett, and they join me now. I think we've got Dean on the line first. Morning, Dean.
Hi, good morning, Ian. Hi.
Thanks for joining us. I'm really sorry for your loss. I hope that doesn't sound flippant, but being a dad and having friends who have lost children in childbirth or just after, it's horrible, and I'm really sorry.
Thank you. It means a lot actually to hear that, and I suppose we've actually had a lot of messages similar to that online since since our story's kind of gone out there, and it really helps with recovery, so I really appreciate that. Thank you.
What happened? It was September, and if at any point I think I'm speaking to Anna in a bit as well. If at any point I ask anything you don't want me to answer, or you don't want to answer, or it's too intrusive or painful, you just tell me to jog on, and I won't be offended. All right, but if you can, what happened in September?
Well, actually, I really wanted to just before we begin, because there's kind of a number of things that have come out since the story has really been shared, and
yeah, go on.
There's I think understandably there's a lot of people that maybe don't have the full information, and and are sharing some concerns around what happened, but there's also some people that are leaving some quite, I suppose, concerning comments, and I think that's just because they don't understand the full story.
Well, this is your chance, Dean, to give people the full story and set them straight. So go on, over to you.
So I think I just wanted to really just confirm what we wanted to happen, and for us, we really wanted to find out exactly what did happen on that day that led to the death of our son, and we really wanted to make sure that that's not going to be in vain, and some good comes out of that. So we're really keen to see that there's going to be some changes that happen as a result of this. But we also just wanted to raise awareness, for new mums and dads, so that they can have a better understanding of what can go wrong, but also what options and what choices they have available to them that maybe they don't know about, that would help them through that through childbirth. So they're our main goals.
Maybe I'm reading between the lines too much. Are you suggesting, Dean, that you've had a bit of flack for pursuing this? Have some people been unpleasant?
There has been an amount of that, yeah. A lot of the comments have been really supportive, and like I say, they really help us through this tough time.
Yeah.
But there's been a number of comments that, obviously we're quite emotionally involved, and we find them quite hard to accept. So there's some comments along the lines of, mistakes happen, and you kind of need to accept that. But for us, it's absolutely not what you want to hear.
There's mistakes, and then there's losing a son. I had a not particularly close friend, but someone who lost their daughter when she was born, and she told us that someone said to her, "Well, you can always have another one."
Yeah.
And it's just wow, Well, I'm sorry you've been getting flack from some people. It sounds like it's a minority, but a minority that aren't thinking.
Yeah, and I think that's really what just wanted to confirm. And I think it's also not about trying to, for a better term, dirty the name of any service or anything like that. In terms of the NHS, I think that they do a fantastic job. They've been around for 50, 60 years, and they provide free healthcare to millions of people.
And it's interesting you say that, Dean, because you would be well within your rights to, come out all guns a-blazing against the NHS and to be very angry. And I think this is the thing from having kind of looked at your story a bit yesterday and spoken to the solicitor earlier on, that you and Anna are dealing this with real dignity.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely not the case. We really want... we really just want some good to come of this. We don't want the death of our son to be something that's just another incident. We've read stories in the past of similar incidents happening, and we want this to be the pivot point for change. We want this to be the catalyst.
All right, then, Dean. What needs to change? What were the mistakes or the oversights that led to the death of your son that could have been avoided and you hope will be avoided in the future?
So there's really a number of failings. Like I think has already been highlighted, and I think that the inquest itself done an absolutely fantastic job at kind of bringing these to light and just clarifying what the key issues were. And also, I just wanted to mention that the team that we were working with, so Julie Say, I think you spoke to her this morning from Hodge Jones and Allen, and Sebastian Norton from Surgeon C, and they were unbelievable through the inquest process, and they really helped, us ourselves kind of find the answers.
Dean, just for those who don't know the story, and I'm sorry to ask again, but what did happen? What went so tragically wrong on the day that Casey was born?
Yeah, so I mean, we arrived in hospital around 7:00 in the afternoon, in the evening, and the day unit was quite busy. Actually, the delivery ward was quite busy. Sorry, so we were asked to go to the day unit, which is not normal procedure. Normally, if you're a mother in labour, you would go straight to the delivery ward. So we went to the day unit, and Anna was put on a CTG, which monitors the heart rate of our baby. And it turns out that the trace that was being captured there was not reassuring. So there were signs within that trace that suggested that the baby's health was compromised, and with that in mind, it should have been continued. But rather than being continued, it was stopped, and Anna was transferred to the labour ward. So it was really a missed opportunity just to confirm whether the baby was in good health. So from there on, we went down to the labour wards, and it was probably around 7:30. So from 7:30 till around 11:00, there was just a number of incidents. So I kind of see that as the kind of the delivery, if you like. It was those hours where we were in second stage of labour, confirmed as being fully dilated, and you kind of you expect the little one to come along imminently and pretty quickly. But it wasn't the case. So the second stage of labour was prolonged, and it kind of means that what I mean by it being prolonged is there's guidelines that the midwives are following around the length of the second stage of labour, and once it hits these certain time periods within the second stage of labour, it's classed as being prolonged, and they should be escalating it to an obstetrics team.
And they didn't. And they didn't kind of speed things up or get the people in with the specialist skills that were required.
No, absolutely not. No, that's one of the other key errors. So a midwife actually she did document a plan to get an obstetrician or to find a doctor. But she'd stated that the doctor was busy, and unfortunately for us, she didn't escalate it to the next level. So, although at that stage the second stage of labour had prolonged, and we really needed to get some expert help and advice, we didn't receive it.
Dean, I'm aware that we're kind of running out of time, and I feel terrible because this is that we have to compress a story like this into a time window. Is Anna there? Can I speak to Anna?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you very much.
Good morning.
Morning, Anna. You're right.
I'm okay, thank you.
Listen, I'm not going to keep you on too long because I don't want to push this. This is such a sad story. Thank you so much for joining us. Are you confident that the changes that need to be made will be made, that people will kind of learn from Casey's passing?
I have to be honest that I think at this point, not yet. I think it's, I hope it's all in progress, and we were reassured that since the incident there were changes implemented. It wasn't really ever summarized of what changes exactly happened. But what we were reassured by the coroner, that any progress he makes and any changes he will find out, he will keep us kind of in a loop. So there is this reassurance. So I think at the moment we just hope and we believe that that's the beginning of the changes. But if that already happened, I can't say I'm confident that it did.
It sounds like you've got an excellent coroner who's kind of taken this case personally and is really keen to pursue it and see things pushed through. What's your communication been like with Bedford Hospital?
It was so from the time of the incident when we lost our son. The communication was, I have to say, quite open in terms of we knew there will be a process of the investigation which will be externally undertaken by different trusts. We were involved. We had opportunity to raise our issues from the start of what we think was the problem, and then and really the questions which we had from the beginning openly were answered just this week. But they were taken into consideration by external investigators who was actually very, very helpful to us, and she really took the time to listen to our concerns too. So not only one side of the story, we were included in the external investigation process. I'm not sure how to say that. I don't know what is a good standard or bad standard of communication at this point. I think it just comes as a just going through the process.
I guess the key is: do you feel happy with the level of communication, or do you feel you've been excluded slightly?
Again, it's. I think at some points, yes, we were included in the external investigation. There were points where I think we felt excluded in terms of actually what actions have been taken by hospital from preventing this incident to happening again. We didn't really know what the situation is with the midwives, what trainings, what lessons are being taken. And I think for parents in this kind of situation, it's important because that puts some peace in your heart that if you know what is happening, and actually this part was missing.
I'll say what I said to Dean, and I hope it doesn't sound trite or patronising. I'm genuinely really sorry for your loss. It's just so sad, and I really appreciate both of you coming on this morning to talk to us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed, Dean and Anna Garrett. It's just it's. And I feel uncomfortable. Not uncomfortable. It's always difficult interviewing people like that. Having a conversation one-to-one in a cafe or in their house or something is an easy thing. But I'm having to kind of do a job where I've got to be a bit factual, and I've got to press for facts, and I've got to ask for facts, but also I'm a dad who's actually thinking, oh God, I'm so lucky I've got my boys. I'm a human being that's feeling empathy for that poor couple who've been through that horrible situation.
It's really difficult to know what to say, isn't it?
That's what I get paid for, is having those conversations, because I don't want to upset them, but I don't know, and I don't want to patronise them as well by saying something.
Yeah, but a lot of people would avoid talking about it altogether, and that doesn't help either.
Well, I'm really glad they came on, Dean and Anna Garrett. Thank you very much indeed. We missed the travel. It doesn't matter. It's BBC Three Counties Radio. We can still have this. It's the news on Thursday. Blimey, the 23rd of July. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines. On BBC Three Counties Radio, Bedford Hospital says changes have been made following the death of a newborn baby there, and also criticism at this week's inquest. The Home Secretary, Theresa May, is launching an independent review of deaths in police custody, and an investigation is underway after a 12-year-old British girl died in a swimming accident on a school trip to France.
Good morning, it's 6 o'clock.
For waking us up
The headlines, elderly care
and getting us going.
I'm listening all week, yeah.
Here it comes, baby.
For making us laugh. And making us cry.
You wouldn't wish it on anyone.
For expanding our minds.
We're going to take a walk through Luton, holding hands, see if anything happens.
And broadening our horizons.
But if my liver's literally not hanging off on its last threads, then...
You can up your drinking.
For all of our hopes.
You can be sure that I'll never ever forget you. Your very loving husband, John. And I leave that on there. She might read it, I don't know.
And our dreams.
Watford are promoted to the Premier League. The final whistle goes at Stadium MK. The Dons are in the Championship.
For not just listening, but living it too.
I think Tim needs to go to Watermead.
Where?
Watermead.
For all of us. BBC Three Counties Radio.
03459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is Gagan Garawal.
On BBC Three Counties
No
Radio.
idea who that... Is that someone who works here? A mother in Bedfordshire is calling for more... Don't worry, there's light coming, guys. Another blast of dark and then there's light, I promise. A mother in Bedfordshire is calling for more to be done after her 5-year-old daughter was coerced into acting out explicit sexual acts at school by a male classmate. The mother, who we're not naming, says she feels the school aren't taking her concerns seriously enough. Claude Knights is the CEO at Kidscape. Morning, Claude. Now, we're deliberately kind of not being we're being very vague about where this is and very vague about the people involved.
No, it's a sensitive case, of course.
Well, it's really sensitive, and it's 2 5-year-olds and one, they were locked in a toilet, and one got the other to do something to them. And the kind of the knee-jerk reaction would be, well, let punish this kid, punish the kid that do this, but... It's a 5-year-old that is encouraging someone else to perform a very specific sexual act.
Yes.
And you've got to think, well, where has that 5-year-old got that from?
Of course. I mean, it's really a hugely difficult issue to address. You know, it's really challenging, isn't it, for us as adults to think of children or even adolescents as capable of, sexually abusing others. So, it's kind of entering into a very, dark and unusual world. And obviously, without any attempt to comment on any particular case, we have to remember that any child that young engaging in what is, very precautious and, on every level of analysis and appropriate behaviour so young would be sadly would have been subjected to, some images or experiences, which were totally and utterly disturbing to them.
At the best, Claude, I feel so sorry for everyone involved in this story.
Yes, there are absolutely no winners in this at all.
But at the best, that young lad has seen this happen, either in real life or in on films.
Yes,
at the
you
worst,
learn what you see, don't you?
Or at the worst, has experienced it.
Yes, absolutely. And it's not unusual for children who are, abused themselves to reenact things with with peers and even sometimes younger children, because, in a sense, they've learned some of these behaviours and it has given them certain feelings and they haven't been helped to understand, how all of this is inappropriate. So yes, so there are so many aspects to this which need to be addressed.
And this is not to negate, kids play around and mess around. I've got 5-year-old and 3-year-old boys, and they play around and they do stuff. And as a parent, I hopefully kind of explain why some stuff is inappropriate. But this is such a specific thing. It puts the school in a really difficult position, doesn't it? Because obviously, the parents want their kids protected, but this kid that's done this is also needs help.
Basically, of course, the young person in this situation is a victim and needs all the support that he can get. And there is obviously a case study behind this. And from what I hope, there will be a number of agencies now helping and supporting all the families involved. I think, you made a very important point earlier about there is natural curiosity about body parts.
Of course there is.
And different genders. And I think it's very important for parents to understand the difference between what is appropriate curiosity at that level and, that which seeps into the into the dysfunctional, really. And there is quite a lot of help out there. There is a campaign called Stop It Now, which people can Google, and they have some amazing leaflets about information in relation to children, under 5 and 5+, and what is appropriate and inappropriate, and how to deal with things in a way which doesn't alarm children.
Oh yeah, don't shame them. There's that thing of you can go the other way and shame them. You see your 5-year-old son touching his willy, and you can that's a pivotal moment. You've got to handle that situation very carefully.
Absolutely. The way you handle that, might decide many other things. And
Claude, what help is there for schools? Would the head teacher at the school, for example, have had training? Is there a body that they can go to get advice on how to handle this?
There certainly should, there certainly should be teacher training on these issues. I wouldn't think though that every teacher would receive that, but certainly the child protection officer and but most teachers would have ways of the first rung of what to do in these situations, of course. And there's child protection programs that exist. I mean, some schools are better at this than others, but certainly Kidscape does have one which actually works with everyone, the parents, the teachers, and the children, so that everyone's on the same page.
Well, Kidscape is an excellent kind of starting point if if you've got questions about this kind of stuff.
Absolutely. And as I say, anyone listening who has deep concerns, or indeed just wants to be more informed, if they Google Stop It Now, and they can download, very, very nice leaflets at the touch of a button, really, at the click of a button.
I'm going to have a little look at those straight after the show, because it's a tough one. Claude,
thank you for taking up this topic, because I think many people might avoid thinking about it, and I think we need to protect our children. We need to be informed.
Claude, I've got to say, while we've been talking, we've already had a complaint saying that we're encouraging kids to try this stuff out. They must be listening to a different radio show. It's
absolutely. I mean, this is always a thing, and then we, as a society, we sometimes hide from issues.
Exactly. And that's part of the problem, is it? That it would be so easy to either point the finger of blame at this boy or ignore this and not talk about it. I mean, these are important things that we need to address to help other kids.
Absolutely. And to keep our society safe. I really think we have a duty of care here. And as adults, the more honest and open we can be, the better, I think, for children. Absolutely.
Claude, it's always nice to talk to you. It's a shame it's generally about, kind of quite hard stuff. But thank you. Claude Knights, the CEO at Kidscape. Did you hear that, Joyce? That's the reason we're doing it. We're encouraging kids to try it. Are you nuts? It's to protect other kids, and it's also to empower parents to kind of know that, your young kids, they're going to play around with their bits and pieces. They might even play around with someone else's bits and pieces. It's kind of doctors and nurses, show me yours, I'll show you mine kind of thing. We've all kind of been there. But this very specific case is it's just so upsetting, because the girl that it happened to, that is awful. And it's traumatic and terrible. But the boy that did it, you've got to think, well, what the hell is that boy going through? What's happening behind his front door? Claude, thank you very much indeed. 03459 455 555. Let's get the Trav.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M1 going south, there's a lane closed. It's looking heavy because of a breakdown between junction 15 for Northampton and 14 for Milton Keynes. In Dunstable on High Street North, the A5 delays because the traffic lights aren't working properly. They're only letting a few cars through at a time at West Street. It's busy on West Street from Medway. On the M25 going anti-clockwise, it's heavy between junction 19 for Watford and 16 for the M40. Also anti-clockwise, busy between junction 26 for Waltham Abbey and 25 for Enfield. Coming down the A1 towards London, queuing between Holiday Inn and Stirling Corner in Borehamwood. Tom Watts, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7:30. I'm Simon Oxley. Bedford Hospital say changes have been made following the death of a newborn baby there. At this week's inquest, the coroner questioned whether Bedford Hospital is a suitable location to train midwives. The Home Secretary Theresa May is launching an independent review of deaths in custody. Her review comes as the Independent Police Complaints Commission continues to investigate 2 deaths at Luton Police Station. And a post-mortem examination will take place today to find out how a 12-year-old girl from Hull died during a school trip to France.
Three Counties Sport.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Watford have taken their summer signings to 9 with yesterday's double signing of Jose Manuel Gerardo from Spartak Moscow and the Napoli defender Miguel Britos. Gerardo played under Watford coach Quique Flores at Atletico Madrid, whilst Britos says former Napoli teammate Valon Berami, another Watford summer arrival, helped persuade him to come to Vicarage Road. Liverpool have confirmed the signing of Aston Villa striker Christian Benteke for £32.5 million. He becomes their 7th summer signing and their second most expensive recruit ever. Former Liverpool striker John Aldridge says Benteke's consistency will be a big boost.
You look at his strike rate and it's 1 in every 2. It's something what we need when you look at what happened last year when we had 4 strikers who only scored 8 goals between them for different reasons. But he's a massive presence. He can put himself about. So we've taken a lot of weight off the likes of Coutinho, Firmino and whoever's playing in and alongside him.
Stevenage chairman Phil Wallace says building a new North Stand at the Lamex Stadium will be a pivotal moment in the club's history. The Borough Council has granted planning permission for the new 2-storey structure, which will seat over 1,500 people with additional conference and leisure facilities. Work could start this summer with the new stand opening in a year's time. Former Stevenage striker Calvin Zola played for Luton in last night's 4-2 friendly win at Thurrock. Jake Howells scored twice for the Hatters, with Pelly Ruddock playing 60 minutes on his return from injury. Britain's Chris Froome retains the Tour de France leader's yellow jersey going into today's 18th stage. The Team Sky rider has a 3-minute 10-second advantage, but BBC commentator Rob Hales says this isn't Froome's title yet.
He's completely solid at the moment. They gave him absolutely everything they could. Admittedly, it was only on a short, not particularly steep final climb. He was singled out, Chris Froome. He was on his own. Everybody else seemed to have teammates, especially Movistar, and he's dealt with it extremely well up to now, but we still have a lot of climbs to come. It's not done yet.
BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 8.
Never did too well at school, but I learned all I need to know. Like how to change a tyre and clean myself from head to toe. But some knowledge has eluded me, and one puzzle still remains. What on earth is the mystery of Abbas Langley Fire Brigade? Did all the helmets go missing one day, or did a dog get stuck up a tree? Did a ghost one night go down their pole? Pray tell, because it's torturing me. Tell us the secret, let the cat out of bag, because the puzzle still remains. What on earth is the mystery of Abbas Langley Fire, Abbas Langley Fire, Abbas Langley Fire
Brigade? Cockneys! Morning, guys. Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. Yes, there will be some of you arguing that going from talking about what we've just been talking about to talking about a horrible couple having it away in a phone box is inappropriate. Probably is. There's a big enough gap. Trust me. I'm a professional. We were on our way to buy Piranha when we haddock away. Oh, really? Exclusive. It's a brilliant picture, isn't it? It's a brilliant picture.
She looks so disinterested.
I won't. I nearly did the thing we did out there. I won't. The shameless couple, photographed romping in a phone box, said they were taken short on their way to buy fish in a garden centre. On the back of this, not literally. Oh, we're asking, where have you been, you mucky pups? And thank you to Adam, who sent us a photograph of where he's been.
He wasn't there at the time, thank goodness.
Left tunnel, Nicky Line Bridge over Queensway and Hemel. Very drunken walk home with a girl. And then he's done a semicolon and a closed bracket, which I've noticed, if you turn your head one way, it looks like a wink and a smile.
Clever.
Amateur boxer Gavin Wayne, 30, and 41-year-old Lisa Curley added that they do not understand the fuss after the Sun reported their moan box antics.
It was right next to a main road. That's what the fuss was.
Well,
Did they know that phone boxes are see-through?
well, no,
they think they closed the door.
They didn't think they could be seen. They were. They were spotted by an outraged couple. This is really
so outraged they took a picture.
We're doing deals later. Okay, right. So let me just hang on a second. No, the couple didn't take the picture. They were spotted by an outraged couple passing in a car on the way to pick up a Chinese meal.
Detail.
Well, once you've had some, you always want some more immediately afterwards, don't you? No, I want to go to sleep. After a Chinese meal, I'm referring. I'll have a 42, a 58, and a... No. The woman driver turned round...
There's a bullfight.
The woman driver turned round and honked the horn while her husband took a picture.
Hang on. They were. What was the word that was used? They were outraged.
Horn.
So outraged that they turned around, honked, and took a picture.
Gavin and Lisa, who've been together for a year, live not far from the phone box in Tamworth, and they're the talk of the town. Gavin said, "I heard a car going, but I didn't think it was blowing at us. I wasn't really concentrating on what was going on outside. I was enjoying myself too much."
I would have rang it.
We've had dozens of calls from people who recognise us.
They're in the phone box.
We like having sex outdoors. It's healthy and it gives you an extra buzz. It's healthy. When the doctor says you need more outdoor activity, they don't mean that. And a phone box isn't outdoors. It's in a wee-stained box. Well, I mean, again. Lisa, who has 4 children by a previous partner, said we were both in the mood and we were just taking short as we passed the phone box. Gavin's got a great body from all his boxing, and sometimes I can't help but jump on him.
She wasn't jumping there. Looking out the window.
She says, I thought folks going past would just think it was 2 people making a call. I didn't think we could be seen because of the reflection. It's a glass door. He's got his trousers round his ankles.
Put his shades on. In disguise.
It wasn't a full-on session because we didn't have the room, but yes, we were having sex. Then this is a line from The Sun. This isn't a quote from the person, right? This is the newspaper saying this bit. The 30-year-old bloke who took the pictures said, "You see dogs at it in the streets, not humans. If children had seen them, they'd have been traumatised. But Gavin countered, "We're sorry if we really offended anybody, but I don't believe we have. It's the first time we've tried it in a phone box. It was a bit strange being in one." As everyone uses mobiles these days. Oh, dear.
On a similar theme, I was quite shocked. I wouldn't say I was outraged. But I was startled.
This is the last line. I've got to read this last line. This is the last line from this. What?
Change this.
This is the last line of the story, right? Okay. And this kind of some way goes to explain... Actually, this poor couple are struggling. I don't think we'd get involved in that dogging stuff where people meet up for sex in cars. Besides, I can't afford a motor.
Stop buying piranhas. Save up.
That's the only reason they're not going dog. Besides, I can't afford a motor.
An aquarium is a very expensive hobby.
Why would you? The good question that really is not being asked here. Why would you have pet piranhas? That's an odd thing to do.
Trophy fish.
No.
We're all God's children.
We're all God's children.
But listen, last week, you know, you've been to Ampthill. It's quite genteel, isn't it?
Oh, Ampthill's beautiful.
Okay, right. You know that sweet shop they've got out there?
Yeah,
it's got like jars and stuff and weighing scales. Proper sweet shop.
Oh, yeah.
I drove past there the other day and there was a couple. I mean, to say it looked like he'd fallen into her mouth and was struggling to retrieve himself.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
What was extraordinary about this
What
couple
had
was
fallen into
his whole face.
His face had fallen into her mouth.
And she was trying to spit him out.
Enjoying it, Joyce? Yes. I'd complain. You've got a legitimate complaint about the last 5 minutes, Joyce. Definitely.
She's gone out. She's too busy to talk to us.
Okay.
What was startling about this was that this couple were in their 50s, if not 60s.
Good for them.
Snogging outside the sweet shop. No, that was my delayed reaction. My first reaction was, they're having an affair. My second was, flipping heck, put her down. My third was, good on you. And my fourth was, isn't it funny, everyone else is pretending they haven't noticed.
Billy Crush.
Billy Crush is calling in. Oh, but get him
I'll
on.
just put you straight through.
Put him on. Let's
Stay there.
Oh, he's going to tell us an off-colour story. You know he
He's
is.
on fader too, but I have no idea what he's saying.
Billy, I have to ask the question, where have you been, you mucky pup?
Hello there.
He can't hear me. Hello, Billy.
Hello there.
Hello, Billy.
Yes, a very good morning to you.
Where have you been, you mucky pup?
Where have I been?
Yes.
Well, I'm just listening to your show. I haven't been anywhere.
I'm asking, have you heard this? Hang on. Have you heard the story about the classy couple that were having it away in a phone box?
Yes, I have heard it, yes.
Yes, it's been the main thrust of the show. We're asking this morning, Billy, where have you been, you mucky pup? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more.
You've got me right on the hop this morning.
There we go, you see.
I wanted to say to you, you've made my day with putting by the Abbots Langley Fire Brigade.
Oh, it's a song that was inspired by you and dedicated to you.
Yes.
You're the mystery of the Abbots Langley Fire Brigade man.
That's right.
Yeah. Any more mysteries unsolved in your life, Billy?
Oh, blow me. You've caught me on the hop.
You love hopping, don't you, Billy?
I can ring you back.
Speak to you later on, ta-ta.
Well, that was nice.
You put up the bat signal and Batman responded.
Do you know what I'm going to do tomorrow? I'm going to bring in my karaoke version of Birdhouse in Your Soul by They Might Be Giants.
Is it on vinyl?
No.
Well, what do you think you're doing?
Digitalis.
But it's Friday tomorrow.
No. Hang on a minute. I might have
You're thinking.
We could play Outside of the Rabbit Hole.
What?
What song is this? Why do I know this song? Hang on a minute. What song is this?
Let's go start again.
The boys watch the girls.
No.
Oh, key change.
Hang on. I don't think I've got it on here. No. Not got my hard drive with me. That's it. Tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow I'm going to treat you all to a rendition of B-I...
No, B...
I-Y-S.
Yeah.
I'm going to treat you to a rendition of B-I-Y-S.
It's Birdhouse one word.
Yes, mate. Of course it is.
Here's a Tijuana taxi.
I've got a band to come in November. We're doing if I'm still here. Intense negotiations are going on, guys. November, we've got a band coming round. I'm giving them 30 quid for travel because they're coming from London.
Okay. So if you're not here, I'm giving them 30 quid.
Thank you, Frank.
No, actually, I won't be here, so do you want to give them 30
Sourced a
quid?
local band.
But
for
like
you.
a wedding band that knows loads of songs.
Yeah.
No, they need skills.
Yeah.
But not like a rubbish band, like
No.
the ones...
Huh?
Well, for free?
Yeah, of course.
Get me some band names then, guys. Get me some band names. Get me some band names. Sort it out. We're going to have it. The way we're going to do it, between 6 and 9, we're going to have a band playing live here. They're going to know all the songs. All the songs. You rock up. You say, do you know Jumping Jack Flash? It's a gas, gas, gas. Of course we do. Get in, fella. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jumping Jack Flash. And they'll sing along live. Live karaoke.
Do you think David Luton will do You Got Me Going?
No, he won't call us for 6 months. Still owes me a tenner. I suspect from Dave in Luton what we're probably going to get is... Yeah. Dave, I think you used a rude word in there.
Tough, mate.
Yeah, I know, but it's inappropriate. Do you think that's acceptable?
Yes.
Okay. Be like that. 03459 455 555. Where have you been, you mucky pup? We'll be finding out where Dealey's been. He's a street dog, so, I mean, it could literally be anywhere. Always up for playing rock, scissors and paper as well, if you want. Oh, and I've got to tell you about the kid in a washing machine. It's just the most amazing, made up, Oi! Oi!
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's looking heavy on the M1 going south. There's a lane blocked by a breakdown between junction 15 for Northampton and 14 for Milton Keynes. The inside lane closed. In Dunstable on High Street North, there are delays there because the traffic lights aren't phasing properly. They're only letting a few cars through at a time. At Church Street, it's busy on West Street from Medway and on Church Street from Priory Road. Thanks to Michael for the update. The M25 going anti-clockwise, you'll find that's heavy between junction 19 for Watford and 16 for the M40 and between 26 for Waltham Abbey and junction 20 M25 for Enfield. Coming into London on the A1 at Boreham Wood, it's queuing between Holiday Inn and Stirling Corner. Tom Watts, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Tom.
Where have you been?
Oh, hang on. Oh, this blooming stupid machine. Hang on, don't worry. There we go. Right, it is 7:46. It's Thursday the 23rd of July. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Bedford Hospital says changes have been made following the death of a newborn baby there, and criticism at this week's inquest. The Home Secretary, Theresa May, is launching an independent review of deaths in police custody, and an investigation is underway after a 12-year-old British girl died in a swimming accident on a school trip to France. Is the weather with Sarah?
Beds, Hearts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Can you ask the band to play Nutbush City Limits for me? Not Proud Mary.
Nutbush City Limits?
Nutbush. How did I say it? Not Bash.
You said Nutbush.
Oh, okay.
How would
Nutbush. I don't know. I think I was trying not to be so northern.
No, hang on a minute. Hang on a second.
Oh, here we go.
No. Proud Mary, definitely. Nutbush. Have you ever heard the song that you want to sing? Nutbush.
What's it called? Nutbush.
Yes,
it's my accent.
You haven't got you're accentless. You're like me. We don't have accents.
No, that's right.
Not Bush, but forever it shall be,
Not
Sarah.
Bush.
It'll be Nutbush City Limits. Away you go, please.
Oh, I wish I'd not tried now, really.
I think we all do, but never mind.
We all do. Keep that out, the Sony Award entry. A dry start this morning. It's been a bit cool out there as well. We've got some sunshine now, but actually the sunshine has already started to turn hazy as the advance guard of tomorrow's weather system starts to make its presence felt. So we've got some high cloud moving in and turning that sunshine hazy for the rest of the day, but staying dry. Top temperature of 19 Celsius, 66 in Fahrenheit. We'll keep temperatures well up in double figures overnight tonight because we keep that cloud around. And then tomorrow the three counties are in line for this weather system that's tracking in from the southwest, moving across our southern counties off towards the east and spinning some quite heavy rain towards us, and a sustained period of rain. It'll be with us from mid-morning until the early hours of Saturday morning. But there is a lot of discrepancy between all the computer forecast models about exactly how far north this rain is going to come. So at the moment, the forecast is that the three counties will get the rain, but they're kind of border country between dry weather towards the north and wetter weather towards the south. So it could be that you don't see quite as much as we're talking about at the minute. A lot of caveats then about tomorrow's forecast, but definitely if you've got outdoor plans, cater for the idea of rain prolonged right the way through the afternoon and feeling chilly at 14 or 15 degrees. Into Saturday, we might start with the last remnants of that rain, but we clear up quite nicely. Dry, sunny and warmer in the afternoon at 18 degrees.
Thank you, Sarah. Nutbush.
Every weekday morning.
One partially closed and the others didn't operate at all.
I have contacted other companies who do it professionally, and they said it should have been anchored down.
The JVS Show.
It was looked over by the garage and they told me do not move the vehicle anywhere. It's a complete death trap.
The JVS Show fights for your rights and tackles your consumer problems.
I'm getting nowhere. I've tried on numerous occasions to talk to the manager of this company.
If you need our help, email jvsshow@bbc.co.uk.
So they said, we're going to contact the customer, we're going to have a chat, and we're going to make a gesture to that customer.
And we could do the same for you.
Without your programme, I don't know what you'd do in the morning.
The JVS Show, weekdays from 9 on BBC Three Counties Radio. Local and vocal across Beds, Hearts and Bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning, J-Dog.
Hey, good morning, boss. You well?
Yeah, I'm fine. I just saw you. The beauty, one of, let's say, a few beauties of being in this new place is I got window and weld, innit? And I just saw you, microphone in one hand, growler in the other, walking along. With just those two simple things, you've got a radio show.
Well, yesterday was a very serious day. Today, I'm back on the streets with swagger, and today I'm actually wearing a vest top for the people, and it's a nice thing to do on a nice sunny morning.
In it, no.
Yeah.
Now listen, have you seen the picture of this couple having it away in the phone box?
I haven't, but I can only imagine, and you've described it very well. I don't think I need to see it.
Honestly, it's the funniest picture. It's. He's got his sunglasses on. Here's genuine question, right?
Yeah.
Genuine question, right? I don't wear glasses. I used to wear glasses, and then for a while, it turns out I didn't need them. I would love to need glasses. I would love to wear glasses. I wouldn't like to need them, right? If you wear glasses and you can't see without your glasses on, right?
Yeah.
Do you keep them on or do you take them off? Contact lenses don't come into the equation here. Do you see what you're doing, or do you have like a blank amorphous shape that you can project, Gwyneth Paltrow or I don't know what floats your boat, Katie Hopkins, whatever.
You're such an optimist.
Well,
that's a positive.
But is that what you? If you've got glasses, what do you do?
I'm short-sighted, so I'm all right with close-up work.
So do you?
I can see.
You keep them on, or do you have them off? Do you have them off?
I don't need them on for close-up.
Okay, so you just whip them off.
Whip them right off.
Okay.
Boss, I'm kind of slightly confused with the question. Are you talking about sexy time or are you talking about normal time?
I'm talking
Why would I be talking about normal time? I need my glasses for that.
So what exactly are you referring to?
Okay, I've got glasses, Justin.
Yeah.
I wear glasses. No, yes. I meet a young lady. She's got really bad eyesight. She wears glasses. That's part of the charm, the Lisa Loeb thing. Lisa Loeb phoned up Watco on his show yesterday. Did you know this?
No, I love her.
She just phoned him up. He was doing a periscope. Anyway, time to do a conversation for off air. My friend does a radio show on a small little station, and he was doing a periscope. Lisa Loeb watched it and then phoned him up live on air. Isn't that nuts?
I had that one album.
Beautiful.
Stay.
You say. That was from the Dawson's Creek School of Singing, where you just get as many lyrics in as you possibly can.
Anyway, what I'm saying is, Justin, should I be offended if I take home a girl who's got glasses on, and if we get into the bedroom, she then takes the glasses off because she can't see me? Oh, well, there we go. Well, that was quick, eh?
Wow.
Here we go.
Very
Hang on a
nice.
minute. Here we go. Let's see how much of this we can remember. You ready, guys? Are we all together? Here we go. Ready now.
You say I only hear what I want to.
Yeah. Here we go.
I'm going to learn to play this.
Yeah, baby, take it now. One time.
You say I talk so all the time. So
take it to the bridge, Lisa Loeb.
and I felt what I felt was simple, and I felt like I don't belong. And now that I am leaving, now I know that I did something wrong, 'cause I miss you.
Healy on his own. Here we go.
Yeah, I missed you.
Take your bets.
You say.
Take it, Catherine.
I only hear what I want to.
Oh,
Listen
share.
hard. I don't pay attention to the distance that I'm running to anyone, anywhere. Don't understand if you really care. I'm
Here we
only
go,
hearing
everybody.
negative. No. So I turned the radio on. I turned the radio on. And this woman was singing my song. Lovers in love and the other.
Let's run away.
Should I be offended if Lisa Loeb takes her glasses off?
No.
If she's long-sighted, yes. If she's short-sighted, it's fine.
Okay. Anyway, Justin.
Yes.
Where have you been, you mucky pup? I'm glad we sorted that out, by the way. Where have you been? She's got her own range of glasses, Lisa Loeb.
I liked her glasses.
Yeah, she's got her own range of them. They're all of her...
Or anywhere. Or with you.
I used to rock that look.
Here we go.
You said that I was naive and I thought that I was strong.
Anyway, so Justin.
Yes.
Where have you been, you mucky pup?
I've been on the streets this morning.
No. Answer the question. Where have you been, you mucky pup? And I look to you as a man. I look up to you for sexual inspiration.
All right. Okay. Very adult conversation, but I'll give you an answer. Brocket Hall.
Did you rock it in the brocket?
Yeah.
That's not outside.
It is outside. Have you been to Brocket Hall, darling?
Oh, sounds like he's going to take you.
Do you want to go? Right, you've taken this. Listeners, you have a legitimate reason to complain for the last 25 minutes. You've taken this to the streets, Justin. Is it safe to play?
It is indeed, and towards the end as well. You know the guy who always calls me Adrian? You.
Yes, I do.
Yes. It's become a bit of a running joke. He features here as well.
Yeah.
So I think the rules were, you said take it to the streets, ask people the question, where have you been, you mucky pup, but don't ask any further questions.
Yeah.
That's what you said. A couple of them, I had to kind of break the rules because I wanted to know more, but I think this is safe to play.
We can't cage you with our human rules, Justin.
No.
You're beyond that, and I know that.
Thank you, boss. So, where have you been, you mucky pup? Here's what happened. Where have you been, you mucky pup?
Chicago's car park in the smoking area.
Classy guy.
I am a classy guy.
A lot of geezers coming forward. Where have you been, you mucky pup?
We've been at Kensworth Church, behind the church. That's just where it happened, and it took me fancy, like, you know.
So, where have you been, you mucky pup?
BMX track. Just there and then.
Where have you been, you mucky pup?
In a car park on the way home.
Jeff, where have you been, you mucky pup?
In my back garden.
Why don't you just stay indoors?
Variety.
Interesting answer, thank you.
You're welcome.
Sir, where have you been, you mucky pup?
In a wood, up against a tree.
I'm not supposed to ask any further questions, but can we have a location?
Mark 8.
Great vibe there.
Thank you. See you later.
Oh, on a roof.
I beg your pardon?
On a roof. A roof.
Yeah, I know what a roof is, but I'm not supposed to ask any further questions, but can you tell me more?
No.
How are you this morning?
All right, agent.
Where have you been, you mucky pup?
Nowhere. I've been here.
He actually does call you Adrian.
He does. No, it's a serious, genuine story.
Oh, that made me laugh too much. All right, Justin. I don't know what we're going to send you out with. I don't know what we're going to say. There's the story about the kid in the washing machine. I don't think that's the right one. I don't think that's the right one. I don't know. Well, let's have a little thinky bonk.
Yeah.
And
no
we'll see
worries.
what we come up with.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, Justin. You made me laugh a lot. Cheers. Ta-ta.
Yeah, take care, boss.
Bye-bye. If you want to hear Justin, the other side of Justin, that's his new album of love songs. It's not. If you want to hear Justin not being how do I put that? I don't say the village idiot because that's harsh. The court jester.
Yeah.
That's more
it's
of a compliment.
It's the serious side of Justin Daly.
Then download yesterday's podcast. We put the whole Penn School thing about this school in High Wycombe that's closing down, and we got all this flack from the PR company that the trustees have engaged for free, as we suggested yesterday might be the case. Anyway, it's an incredible story, and it's what's interesting, PR guy and everyone else, is there are lots of bigger news outlets sniffing around it. So, you know, I don't want to go into too much detail, but fingers crossed, a couple of really big news outlets are having a little look at it to see whether they want to pick up and go with that. But Justin plays an absolute corker of an interview yesterday where he speaks to the headmistress at this Penn school. So if you want to hear Justin, Matt, who do we send that to get Justin an award? If not an award, at least a certificate. If not a certificate, then a pat on the back and a firm handshake, because it's brilliant. His interview with the headmistress yesterday was brilliant. If you go to iTunes, there's a special Penn School podcast. It's not packed full of laughs. Could be argued that the regular podcasts aren't packed full of laughs, but it's a cracking listen.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Just hearing reports of an accident on the M1 going north between junction 12 and 13. There's a lorry in the hard shoulder, 2 cars in the outside lane. Now that's causing some delays. Thanks to Dominic for the update. So going past Luton. Elsewhere, very slow on the A1 going south into the Black Cat roundabout. And in Copel on Bedford Road, partially blocked because of an accident at Willington Road. Tom Watts, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Tom. Just been sent this. I don't know what this is. This looks like it could be fun. Let's have a little burst.
Why are you listening to Iain Lee?
What?
He's an idiot.
Oh no! Who's that from? You
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: Bedford Hospital say changes made after baby's death. Home Secretary orders review into deaths in custody, and police search for missing man in Milton Keynes.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Bedford Hospital say changes have been made following the death of a newborn baby there. At the inquest into the death of Casey Garrett, Coroner Thomas Osborne questioned whether Bedford Hospital is a suitable location to train midwives. He said there was a catalogue of errors leading up to the birth. The hospital trust say they have already implemented a range of recommendations. Casey's father, Dean Garrett, says the coroner has also been invited to the hospital to inspect it.
He's agreed to take them up on that offer to visit the maternity ward, and he's also discussed other means of process improvements himself, to again prevent further death. So, to hear that support from the coroner means a lot to us, because ultimately that's what we want to happen.
The Home Secretary, Theresa May, is launching an independent review of deaths in custody. She'll say that every such death has the potential to undermine dramatically the relationship between the public and the police. Her review comes as the Independent Police Complaints Commission continues to investigate 2 deaths at Luton Police Station, Leon Briggs in 2013 and Istiak Youssef in June this year. A post-mortem examination will take place today to find out how a 12-year-old girl from Hull died during a school trip to France. Jessica Lawson fell into a lake at an adventure centre when a pontoon she was playing on overturned. Ian Pearson is from the School Travel Forum, which regulates companies that run such trips.
Investigators will be concentrating their efforts on what happened on the site, what were the circumstances that occurred, how did it happen, are there any things that we can learn that we can disseminate through the industry, or was it in fact a tragic one-off accident that couldn't be foreseen?
A mother in Bedfordshire is calling for more to be done after claiming her 5-year-old daughter was coerced into simulating explicit sex acts at school. The mother, who we're not naming, says the girl was manipulated by a 5-year-old boy who locked her in a toilet cubicle. The council, concerned, says a safeguarding review is underway. More from Ben Nye.
The school says it has met with the parents and reported the incident to a multi-agency safeguarding hub. But the girl's mother says she feels the school hasn't taken her complaint seriously enough and that the young boy's behaviour raises serious concerns. She's now moved her daughter to a different school.
Police in Milton Keynes are carrying out searches in the hunt for a missing 38-year-old man. Stephen Keogh from Netherfield has been missing since May the 11th. Detective Chief Inspector Vince Gray is from Thames Valley Police.
Over the next 2 or 3 days, we're going to be carrying out some searches of some areas within Milton Keynes, predominantly around the Milton Keynes railway station, Granby Housing Estate and Netherfield. From our point of view, along with Stephen's family, I say we are concerned for his welfare and we'd appeal for any help or assistance that you may give us.
In sport, Watford have taken their summer signings to 9, with yesterday's double signing of Jose Manuel Girardo from Spartak Moscow and the Napoli defender Miguel Barritos. And Liverpool have confirmed the signing of Aston Villa striker Christian Benteke for £32.5 million. The weather dry with sunny spells but cooler than yesterday, a maximum temperature 21 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Thank you, boss.
That's what I was struggling for. Morning, guys. Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio, of all places. What you doing? We're asking the slightly awkward and mucky question: where have you been, you mucky pups? I'm just trying to get my head around, Catherine, what it is we send, what's the lad's name? Dealey.
Adrian.
We send Adrian Dealey out on. I'm just not quite sure.
I didn't get a proper look at the papers.
No, I know. I mean, we could send him home early. He had a long day. He had a long day yesterday. We could send him home early. I mean, is that an option that we're allowed to?
But you know what he's like. He's tails wagging. He wants to go.
Yeah. I mean, there's the thing about the washing machine. I don't know. I'm not sure. There's hang on a minute. Let me do this. Hang on.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
We need
This
Dealey.
is BBC Three Counties Radio.
We need Dealey in the last hour because we've got some heavy. We're about to dive into some heavy stuff. Two big stories, okay? So we need a little bit of Dealey. There's very little in the papers today. I mean, this I'm not suggesting we do this, but I don't understand it. Why women taking the pill are better at reading maps?
Are they taking like a special navigation pill?
No, they're taking the pill. I mean, I'm going to leave it to you guys to have a little thing, because we need a bit of dealing in the last half hour, definitely today. 03459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to... No, that's the old number, isn't it? What did I just say? Did I say 03 now? OK, well, just give us a call on our number and that'll be all right, wouldn't it? So we've got a couple of heavy stories coming up, but they are really important and very big stories. Parents of a newborn baby who died at Bedford Hospital are hoping their son's death will bring about change. We spoke to Dean and Anna Garrett in the last hour of the show. They lost their son Casey last September. An inquest found the hospital made a series of mistakes and the outcome could have been different if he'd been delivered 20 to 30 minutes earlier. He lived for just 7 hours. Well, the coroner questioned Bedford Hospital's fitness to train midwives and announced his intention to inspect the hospital's progress. Roy Lilly is a former NHS Trust chairman who's now a health writer and commentator. Morning, Roy. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
I'm worried. I hate this phrase, lessons will be learned, or lessons have been learned, because it's such a kind of throwaway phrase. There were a lot of mistakes made here, weren't there, in this case? Should we be blaming the hospital so much?
This is a tragedy, isn't it? It's a dreadful tragedy for the family. One hardly knows where to begin with this. Look, I mean, birth is, for most people, it's a joyous occasion, the start of a new life, the extension of a family, but it's all gone horribly wrong here. I'm not so sure that I agree with the coroner. He's delivered a narrative verdict, and a narrative verdict is generally when a coroner's got a lot more to say than just the cause of death, and they've tried to point in the direction of why this child died in the circumstances that it did. To say that, if I understand what he's saying correctly, is that this hospital shouldn't be training midwives because of what has happened here, I disagree with that. I think that whilst the absolute majority of births happen with no incidents and no problems, and we hear, of course, about the times when it does go wrong, but the vast majority go right. It will happen from time to time in the best run and best trained of maternity units that nature and happenstance will conspire against a safe birth. And if midwives in training are not exposed to the full gamut of the techniques of their craft and their skills and their profession, then that isn't training. I mean, they can't only see the good things that happen. They have to understand what can go wrong. They have to be prepared for what can go wrong, and they have to spot what might be going wrong and act appropriately. So I don't think I agree with the coroner.
Yeah, you're right. Of course, training isn't just doing the easy everyday bits. And with every birth, there is an element of risk. I suppose the argument in this case, Roy, could be that if these midwives were better equipped in terms of knowledge, then there is a very strong chance that Casey would still be alive.
It's very difficult, and I don't want to poke into this, and I don't want to be prurient about it. I mean, as I understand the report, this dear little baby died because of oxygen starvation around the time of its birth, and there are a number of reasons for that. And there might have been that if the midwife involved had called for consultant support earlier, the child might have survived. We don't know that, and I want to be very careful.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm talking about the generality of births when these type of things can happen. Was consultant cover available at the time? Did the midwife recognise that she needed to call for help? I mean, what's worth saying, I think, is that midwives practice in their own right. They have their own caseload. They're a bit like doctors. Unlike nurses, the generality of nurses, midwives do have their own caseloads, and they look after women. They have a named midwife, or they try, as it was when staffing and circumstances would allow. They have a midwife that takes them through their whole experience of giving birth and being an expectant mum and so on and so forth. So it's very difficult to talk about this without, if the family are listening, then, one really has to be very respectful of their circumstances. But we do have to be slightly hard-nosed and learn lessons, and that's really what the family have generously said. So when the NHS says it will learn lessons, well, I think that's reasonable enough. I think it would say, look, the majority of births have gone well. The midwife who is responsible for this particular woman's birth will, I'm sure, be distraught that something has gone wrong. And all of us in the NHS will want to say, well, why has this happened? Did it happen because happenstance, accident, unpredictable events, God had decided that this baby shouldn't live? There's a whole raft of things. Or was it, an error? Was it something that could have been spotted, should have been spotted? And if it was something that could be avoided, then I think, of course, everyone would say, well, let's just find out exactly what happened here and say, look, could this have been avoided? And it may well be that it couldn't have been. And we have to accept the fact that we don't live in a perfect world and not all things could happen perfectly. But certainly, at the end of the day, everyone involved, if I know the NHS at all, I know everyone involved will be saying, we really do need to find out what's gone wrong here. But I think sheltering young midwives, training midwives from the likelihood of something going wrong is not the right approach. I do think it is the right approach for the hospital to investigate thoroughly and be absolutely honest and transparent with what happened. And it may well be that an investigation doesn't provide a satisfactory answer of a family who are in grief and experiencing the pangs of bereavement, which will be dreadful for them. But we do need, I think, to get the facts on the table and find out. And that's really what the coroner is saying. He's saying, look, I'm not really quite sure what has happened here, and we need to find out more.
Roy, it's really nice talking to you this morning. Thank you very much. Very insightful. Roy Lilly, former NHS Trust chairman, now a health writer and a commentator.
This is Iain Lee
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
So this is a really odd story, and I've seen it in two papers, it may be in more. They're trying to create a furore. I don't buy the furore. It's in the Mirror. I'm reading it from the Daily Mail. The Daily Mail, by the way, which front page is the glam new face of BBC politics. What they mean is the female new face of BBC politics.
Yeah.
Laura Kunsberg. The glam new face. It's a woman.
Why have we got to separate women into glam and unglam?
It's a laugh. Mum posts picture of Downs boy in washing machine.
Right.
A mother has sparked outrage by posting a photograph of a toddler with Down syndrome inside a washing machine. Now, you read that, you think, flipping it. That is nuts. That is nuts. She put a Down syndrome kiddie in the washing machine and shut the door, and what, did she turn it on? She was taking pictures. This is outrageous. It's not the story. Courtney Stewart insisted she took the picture for a laugh. Oh, that makes it even worse. Heartless cow. After the boy had climbed into the machine of his own accord. In the picture, the 2-year-old wearing blue pyjamas, remember, he's got Down syndrome, guys, can be seen curled up inside the machine while an adult holds the door closed. Miss Stewart, 21, shared the image on her Facebook page, but friends and neighbours reacted with anger when they saw it. One called police to report Miss Stewart for child cruelty, prompting officers to visit home. She was branded a scumbag, a nutter, and one neighbour allegedly assaulted her on the doorstep. Miss Stewart said, "He loves the washing machine. We took a picture, and it was a laugh." Right, now, if my kids got into my kids are fascinated with washing machines when they're young.
All kids are.
Just sit there and watch it for ages. It was brilliant. It's better than CBeebies. If I saw my kid climbing into a washing machine, I'd yank him out sharpish.
If you found him in there...
I'd take a picture, then yank him out sharpish. I would take a picture. Now, the fact that she's holding the door shut, that means the door is not shut properly. It's not clicked shut. The catch hasn't gone. She's just pushing it to.
Right. Is she holding the door shut because he's trying to get out? No. She is pushing it to there, so she's
Yeah.
not locked it, because that would be a silly thing
And
to
here's
do.
the thing. What's the Down syndrome bit got to do with anything? Well,
It's her son, isn't it?
I don't get what that has got to do with anything. It's there, so we go, a disabled kiddie in the washing machine, and she shut the door, and she took a picture, and she put it on Facebag. What a heartless cow. There's no story there. Mum takes picture of kid doing something dumb and then gets kid out. What happened to your little girl?
Well, what hasn't happened to her? But, we're in the age where instead of retrieving them straight
Now, was this
away...
Big 'un or Little 'un?
This was Big 'un.
Right.
Right, Big 'un's got really long legs, but she was quite tiny and she's a string bean. And a few years ago, so she would have been about 3, there's a little muffled cry from the toilet.
Yeah.
A slightly echoey muffled cry. Mummy! Mummy! Help! So I went in there and she's managed to get herself. So, I mean, her bum must have been round the U-bend. So she's
making a V shape with her bum down the toilet.
I can see the top of her eyes and her toes either side of her face, and everything else is down the loo. So naturally, I reached for my phone, took a picture. And then she said, "It's not funny, Mummy."
Yeah.
And I said, "It's a bit funny." Took the picture, got her out.
And that's what we, as parents, that's what we do. Kids do something stupid, we take a picture of it. Is there anybody offended by what that woman did, or am I just being naive here?
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M1 going north, still reports of an accident with a lorry between junction 12 for Flitwick and 13 for Milton Keynes. That seems to be causing some delays on the centres. Thanks to Dominic for the update. The A1 going south, heading onto the Black Cat roundabout, looking very slow this morning. In Copel on the A603 Bedford Road, that's partially blocked because of an accident at Willington Road, causing some queues. In Bedford, Paula Radcliffe Way, Lewis has called to say that's very busy through the roadworks. In Dunstable on the High Street North, delays because the traffic lights aren't working properly at Church Street at the A505. They're only letting a few cars through at a time. Tom Watts, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much indeed. 8:17. It is Thursday, the 23rd of July. The 23rd of July already.
Gosh.
You won't notice this because you don't work as hard as I do. But when I'm driving in... when I'm driving in the mornings, it's getting darker in the mornings.
No.
Yeah.
Is it?
Before I went away, you'd be driving in at about 4:30, 4:15, and it was sunlight. It was daytime.
Super Christmas.
Yeah, won't it just? I can't wait till it cools down a bit. It's too cold. We'll start wearing my jumpers again. These are your news headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Bedford Hospital says changes have been made following the death of a newborn baby there. A cyclist has been left with serious injuries after a hit and run in Goffs Oak in Hertfordshire last night, and an investigation is underway after a 12-year-old British girl died in a swimming accident on a school trip to France.
This is Iain Lee
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Yeah, that's right. You just saw me stick my fingers up to the desk because I couldn't work out which button I had to press. I gave it the fingers.
That it worked though, didn't it?
It did. It sorted it out.
Giving it the fingers.
Good old British giving it fingers.
That's right. So, here we are. Mind you, you're talking about...
we are.
You're talking about it getting colder. It's freezing today out there. You should get yourself out. It's freezing.
I tell you what, I had to stick around yesterday. I had to do a little cheeky pre-record that we probably can't use. It's too sweary. In your studio yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
It's half cold in there.
I know.
This is hot in here. It's cold in there.
Colder than here?
Yeah, freezing. I couldn't believe it.
Really?
I put my shirt back on. It was it was nice and chilly in there.
Pants back
Chilly
on.
Willy. Didn't put my pants back on.
No.
So that you might want to wipe that seat down. Now. What?
Disgusting.
What is going on your show today?
Coming up on the big phone in this morning from 9, I'm going to be asking, do you think it would be better if mums did stay at home with their children? I'll explain why I'm asking this question.
Please do.
As the school year draws to a close, a new report published today reveals exactly how much guilt and peer pressure working mums with school-aged children feel. The survey amongst mothers with 5 to 16-year-olds revealed that 34% of the 1,000 mums surveyed admit a tension between themselves and their stay-at-home peers. 62% of mums say that the majority of play dates are made at the school gates, which means fewer invitations for children of working couples. But is it just a necessity that many mums have to go back to work? This morning from 9, I want to hear your reaction to this. Maybe your children have just broken up for the summer holidays and you're at home to be able to contribute to this programme today. Do you think it would be better if mums did stay at home with their children? Or do you think there was a very interesting article in the Guardian, I think it was last month, by Polly Toynbee, and she was saying that actually working mums benefit their children. Working mums set a good example for their children. I don't know, what's your view? From 9 this morning we're going to debate this. I'd love your call with your view, your experience. 03459 455 555. It's the big phone in from 9.
What about dads?
Well, you're absolutely right. But this survey hasn't actually looked at dads, which is why. But you're quite right. There is, of course, an argument to say that in this day and age, why does it have to be the mum that stays at home? It could just be the dad.
If my wife earned enough, I would jack this nonsense in with a moment's hesitation. I'd be a stay-at-home dad.
Would you like to be a stay-at-home
I would love to be a stay-at-home dad. Yeah, I would love to be one of the most significant, a more significant factor in the development of my kids' life. And then when they're at school, I'd watch like Jeremy Kyle and stuff. So it would just be brilliant. I'm being slightly flippant, but
wouldn't you get bored?
No.
Because I have.
No, because there's stuff to do at home. When you're at home, even if the kids are at school, there's stuff to do.
Yeah, but my friends who've had children, and they've all had careers beforehand.
Yeah.
And this is generally women I'm talking about here, but they have said to me that they've really enjoyed their maternity leave. They've enjoyed their 6-9 months, whatever it is they've taken off. But then they talk about this thing called baby brain. And how they just get a bit bored and they can't wait to go back and be with adults.
I think it's different. I think it's really different with babies compared to, I don't know, let's say 2-year-olds and above. Because with 2-year-olds and above, you're getting more meaningful interaction. With babies, it is. I mean, it is harder with babies, I think, than it is with kids. But babies are boring. I'm going to give you that.
Babies are boring.
Babies are well boring. From 2 years on. 18 months on, they're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But also, you've got to do stuff with the kids, so that's stuff. But then when they go to school, there's still work to do. They're not sitting. I was being slightly flippant about Jeremy Kyle. You have that on in the background. There's stuff to do. I'd love it.
Would you? I think you'd get frustrated.
I'm frustrated doing this. I'm going to be frustrated wherever I go in my life.
But I think it would be all right, probably be quite fun for the first few months. Yeah. And then I think you'd get frustrated and you'd be kind of doing dances down your street or something.
I do that anyway. I don't. What's your beef?
We'd do it more often. Anyway, from 9 this morning, I'll be asking, do you think it would be better if mums did stay at home with their children? I'd love your call. 03459 455 555.
Thank you.
BBC Introducing.
Are we feeling good?
Next Saturday night, BBC Introducing is live from Standon Calling.
So, welcome back to the BBC Introducing stage.
To celebrate the 10th anniversary of this great event, we've got a BBC Introducing stage at the festival and we'll bring you all the highlights and live performances from across the weekend.
All right, check it out. We're going to try something now. This is a kind of new song.
Break this mold and let my boys become.
Listen to BBC Introducing at Standon Calling.
You have a whole weekend full of fun. I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you to the BBC Introducing team.
Standon Calling, next Saturday night from 8 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
03459 455 555. It's kind of a child-heavy show. We'll go back to the story after 5:30 about the mum and the Down syndrome kid in the washing machine. I can see a few texts coming in on that. If you've seen it in the papers, 03459 455 555. But a story that we've been talking about all morning. A mum in Bedfordshire is calling for more to be done after her 5-year-old daughter was coerced into acting out explicit sex acts at school by a male classmate. Now, we're treading really carefully. We're not naming the mum. We're going to call her Sarah, not her real name. We're not going to name the kids. We're not going to name the school or even where the school is because we want to be really, really vague about this. But as Sarah, in inverted commas, you're worried that the school isn't taking your concerns seriously enough. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, firstly, I want it known that my decision to sort of talk to you today is purely in the interest of getting things changed. As a handful of mothers at a school, we can't affect change by ourselves. And I don't want anybody else to have to suffer the upset and the heartbreak that we have as a family.
Now we're going to tread, and this this is a really unpleasant story, and we need to tread carefully. I'm sure you can understand. We've got young ears listening and stuff. But your daughter is 5. How did you find out that something had happened?
Well, what I can say is that during class time, my daughter was followed into a toilet cubicle by a boy from the same class. The boy locked the door behind him, and my daughter was then effectively blackmailed into doing something that no 5-year-old should know about, let alone be forced to do. She was sworn to secrecy. She was told that if the teachers found out, that they would all blame her. It would be her fault. It wasn't her. As far as I'm aware, she didn't tell a soul. It came to light because the boy told another girl in the class, and it was this little girl who unknowingly saved my daughter from further assaults by telling a teaching assistant.
And then how did you find out? Do you get a phone call? What's the kind of procedure?
I
It's like that, is it?
Well, I picked my daughter up from school, because this happened in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
I picked my daughter up from school as normal, and was asked to come in for a quick catch-up. Was exactly how it was sort of sprung on me. I was sat down and told about what had happened. And of course, you can't digest this sort of thing, just sat in a classroom on tiny chairs. It's not something that I could really compute. I went home that night and talked to my daughter and asked her to, explain what happened at school. And we found out that in actual fact things were far worse than had even been reported to the teachers at the time. We had to go in the following day and explain to the class teacher that actually things were much, much worse.
And when you did, and you must have felt absolutely terrible hearing that from your little girl.
Oh.
When you spoke to the school again, armed with that extra information, how did they respond?
I think that the teacher was quite significantly worried about it. At no point was I offered a meeting with the head teacher to discuss this. At no point was, it was a case of, go home, we'll contact the head teacher and we'll give you a ring. It was none of this sort of urgency about, oh my God, this needs addressing, this, we need to sit down and, you need to be speaking to the head teacher about this, which I think was my first sort of, it annoyed me slightly. I understand that once the head teacher had been informed, and I'm assuming she'd been informed the previous day, again, that's not something I'm aware of, but once she'd been informed about this additional information, they did contact the multi-agency safeguarding hub, which is the agency in their policy that they are supposed to refer these situations onto. I had the weekend to sort of consider things, and I think I made a decision to keep my daughter off school until they put into place a few things that I requested, such as separating girls' and boys' toilets, monitoring toilet use, which, let's face it, this happened in class. This was one pupil asking one teacher to go to the toilet, another pupil asking another teacher, a separate teacher. So there's almost a bit of calculation here to go to the toilet, and this was all done during class time. Why wasn't that toilet situation being monitored? I wouldn't mind. I say I wouldn't mind, but that's not the right term. But the school had previous behaviours. They should have been watching this boy.
From this lad, this lad had been. This lad had been mentioned before that there was something going on.
There had been complaints made to the teachers on at least 3 occasions prior to this incident happening. As far as I'm concerned, they could have saved my daughter from this, because they should have been reporting these minor, less. And I say less severe. They're still, that they provide you with a traffic light system. Or I've seen documents that are traffic light systems. These are the behaviours that are all in the amber. The 3 previous instances are all in the amber column. None of them were in the green. The green isn't even applicable. So all these other previous behaviours were in the amber column. My daughter's was in the red.
I've just got to do a tiny bit of business, Sarah. We would normally go to the travel and news now. I'm going to carry on talking to Sarah because I don't want to interrupt this. It's an incredible story, so apologies for anyone who's... We will get the news in a bit, and apologies for you waiting for the travel. We'll get that at 1:45. What was you've taken your daughter out of the school. What was the kind of final thing or the chain of decisions that made you think you didn't want her to be there anymore?
I think as a mother, when you send your child to school, you hope that they're going to be cared for, protected, looked after. I've lost all confidence and faith in the school's ability to protect and look after my little girl. I'm not satisfied that any of the incidents were taken seriously. I think it's important to say here as well that I hear constantly bandied about in meetings that I've had, in multi-agency meetings, etc., that this is normal behaviour.
Sorry?
They're normal behaviour.
Because I know, and we're not going into specific details, I know, what happened in the alleged incident. That is not normal, show me yours, I'll show you mine behaviour, is it?
No.
It's a sexual act.
It is, and it is not right that the school tried to say it's normal behaviour. I confronted the head about this. I said, is this what you're telling me, that this is normal? And I went through this document that she had provided to another person to sort of almost prove that this was normal behaviour. I went through this document and I asked her to read the point in the red that was specifically relating to the incident with my daughter. And she read it almost with sort of distaste and sort of said, oh, well, he didn't mean it in that context. This was a behaviour chart that's for 5 and 11-year-olds, and it clearly describes what is acceptable and what is unsafe behaviour. And in the red column was what happened to my daughter. And she turned around and said, oh, he didn't mean it in that context, and then we'll have to agree to disagree. And basically, I was ushered out of the office.
I'm getting some messages from someone who I'll keep anonymous, who is a teacher, and is saying that the school, not from this school either, from a completely different school. I can assure you the school will take it very seriously, but they'll be doing things behind the scenes to protect the boy. This sort of behaviour is a sign that the child is being abused, and that. I think that seems quite obvious. The fact that he was using that language, not only did he do this, he was using that language. If you tell anyone, you'll get in trouble. Those aren't his words, are they? That's the words of someone else.
Absolutely. I've spoken. I mean, when this happened, I rang the NSPCC and had long, in-depth conversations. And they said, you know what, the school have a duty to safeguard this boy as well as your daughter. And I said, absolutely. God, I mean, that's worrying. But what's happened is, as far as I'm aware, and I know I'm not privy to anything that's been happening on that side of things, but I have been made aware that, an assessment has been carried out and that there was no concerns. That's what I think, because basically the teachers are telling us it's dealt with, because social services have been around. They've said, you know what, there's not really a big deal, not really a big problem. We can't identify a problem, therefore we're closing the case. Now, my biggest concern here is that if they can't address the reasons and the issues behind this behaviour, how on earth can they prevent it from happening in future?
Do you feel sorry for the boy?
I do, and the mother, and I don't hold ill will against them, because I think if I was in that situation, I would want to know, and I would want every single thing being done to help my son to change the behaviour, and to make sure that there wasn't anything going on that I wasn't aware of. I would be pushing and forcing that something be done, that he get support. I mean, gosh, you're told your child or your son has carried out this act, you would be absolutely mortified. I know I would. I'd also be mortified that I hadn't been informed about previous behaviours, because I don't know that she was, because I don't think they were taken seriously. I think the teachers didn't even really register that there was about the previous, despite the fact that the mothers went in and spoke to the teachers. I honestly don't believe that any action was taken.
Sarah, I kind of have to move on, and I appreciate you talking to us, and I appreciate you treating this as delicately as you have done, so thank you. A couple of final questions. Your daughter's in a new school. How's she doing? Is she all right?
No, she's not. We've been applying all this summer. Yeah, we're not. Okay. We haven't made a final decision yet as to exactly where she's going, but she's got the summer holidays to relax and enjoy, and we're just waiting on some applications.
And is she all right?
Put through. Yeah, I think so. I mean, she was assessed herself for any trauma, and I think that, you know, they say she's young enough that she can forget about it. You know, she didn't know. She doesn't know what she was being asked to do. We with our adult heads put all this emotion into it. I mean, she honestly doesn't understand it. So, you know, we've just sort of followed advice and you know, we're answering questions that she asks, but we're not, you know, dwelling on it as far as she's concerned.
Sarah, it sounds like you're doing a cracking job, and she's very lucky to have you as a mum. And you know, I'm sure you'll keep an eye on her. And thanks so much for talking to us.
Yeah. No, thank you, Ian.
Thank you very much, Ian. Let's hope that poor lad gets some help as well. He wasn't speaking his words there. Those are the words of somebody else that someone said to him, isn't it? Oh, just shocking. Absolutely shocking. Thank you, Sarah. Not your real name. Incredible. 03459 455 555 8:35 BBC Three Counties Radio. Let's get the news now. Here's Simon.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
The headlines: Bedford Hospital say changes have been made following the death of a newborn baby there. At this week's inquest, the coroner questioned whether Bedford Hospital is a suitable location to train midwives. A post-mortem examination will take place today after the death of a 12-year-old girl from East Yorkshire during a school trip to France. A cyclist has been left with serious injuries after a hit and run in Hertfordshire last night. The woman in her 40s was found in Silver Street in Goffs Oak by a member of the public at around 7:45. And the Home Secretary Theresa May is launching an independent review of deaths in custody. Her review comes as the Independent Police Complaints Commission continues to investigate 2 deaths at Luton Police Station.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Watford have taken their summer signings to 9 with yesterday's double signing of Jose Manuel Jurado from Spartak Moscow and the Napoli defender Miguel Britos. Jurado played under Watford coach Quique Flores at Atletico Madrid, whilst Britos says former Napoli teammate Valon Barami, another Watford summer arrival, helped persuade him to come to Vicarage Road. Liverpool have confirmed the signing of Aston Villa striker Christian Benteke for £32.5 million. He becomes their 7th summer signing, their second most expensive ever. Does former Liverpool striker John Aldridge think Benteke will change the way they play?
No, I think that's a fallacy. Some people saying, he doesn't play the Liverpool way. He knocked Liverpool out the semi-final of the FA Cup and he played through the middle. You ask Aston Villa players, you hit the balls into the box, he comes alive. Obviously, you look at him, balls in from wide areas seems to favour him, but that doesn't mean that he's bad through the middle as well. Not at all. He's very quick, he's very strong, he's very aggressive, and that's something that we haven't got.
Stevenage chairman Phil Wallace says building a new North Stand at the Lamex Stadium will be a pivotal moment in the club's history. The Borough Council has granted planning permission for the new 2-storey structure, which will seat over 1,500 people with additional conference and leisure facilities. Work could start this summer with the new stand opening in a year's time. Former Stevenage striker Calvin Zola played for Luton in last night's 4-2 friendly win at Thurrock. Jake Howells scored twice for the Hatters, with Pelly Ruddock playing 60 minutes on his return from injury. And Britain's Chris Froome retains the Tour de France leader's yellow jersey going into today's 18th stage. The Team Sky rider has a 3-minute 10-second advantage. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 9.
This is Iain Lee
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Dave's on the line. Morning, Dave. How are you this morning? Are you good? Yes. So I can't hear you, Dave. You're a little bit quiet. Are you good?
Yes.
Excellent stuff. What have you been doing? We haven't spoken for ages. What have you been up to?
I've done a little garden.
Oh, that's nice. Was the ground... No, it's been quite dry. Was the ground soft?
Tough, mate.
Oh, was it really? You need to get Ginger Baker involved.
Who the hell is Ginger Baker?
Oh, blimey. Well, don't start getting stroppy, will you?
Oonga,
steady.
Oonga.
Calm down, David.
Excuse me. Hello? Are you real? Hello? Are you real? Hello? Are you real? Am I talking to myself? Yes. A stupid programme. What are you beefing on about? That geezer sits behind that microphone. Are you real? Yes, thank you. Tough, mate. Oh dear, oh pray, here we go again. I like the mushy peas. I like the mushy peas. Da, 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 da.
As you know, I deal in fact and not fiction.
Yeah. Oh no, hit him again.
Touch me, I want to feel your body. Ooh, touch me.
Go away.
Iain, you're an idiot.
Yes.
Thank you, boss.
Dave, what would you like to say, mate? You've been on the phone for 8 minutes and 2 minutes and 33 seconds, and you've not said anything of any merit yet.
Well, is that my problem? Is that my fault or yours?
It's my problem. It's your fault.
No, it's not.
Not
I'm
Bosh.
sitting here.
You're what?
I'm just standing here.
Well, you were
waiting
sitting
to
a minute
talk.
ago. What made you stand up?
No, I'm... Shut it, pal, right?
Do what?
Shut it.
Again, just one more time.
Just shut it, pal.
Okay. I think he's saying shut
Yeah.
it. So, okay.
Right.
What do you want, mate? You're interrupting my cup of coffee.
Are you going to listen?
Hang on a second.
No, flu.
A flu?
You guzzler.
What did you say? Oh, what did you call me?
A guzzler.
It just gets better and better. It just gets better and better, doesn't it, Dave?
Yes.
Yes, it does, Dave.
Are you going to listen?
I mean, that's a tough question. Yeah, go on then. Why? Why not? Go on. What you got?
Right. Let me explain.
Yes.
On the 26th and 27th of this month, Luton Borough Council are going to close down Hatter's Way again to cause gridlock in Luton at night during the day.
Hang on. Hang on. They're going to close down Hatter's Way in Luton to cause gridlock at night time during the day. That don't make no sense, mate. Try again.
Right. On the 26th and 27th of this month, Hatter's Way between Luton and Chorley Lane is going to be closed down during the day, the weekend. It's going to bring gridlock to Luton, which it has been over the last month.
What are they doing it for? Just to wind you up?
I've got no idea. This is what I'm asking you.
It's probably
or
just to
Luton
wind you.
Borough
It's to wind you up,
Council.
mate, isn't it? They want to get at you, Dave. They're teaching you a lesson, Dave.
No, I want to know what they're doing. Why
it's
are
only-
they doing this at night time?
Because I imagine it's quite a big job, and so it takes a couple of
Well,
days.
it's not.
Well, what are
It's
they?
not.
You don't know what they're doing.
But all they're doing, I can see, or others can see.
Yes.
is they're doing the drain holes. I don't know what for.
Well, because maybe they need new drain holes.
Well, can they do this at night time, through the night, so that we've got a clear run of not a gridlock in Luton, Berry Park, Leagrave?
It's 2 days. One of those days is a Sunday. There won't be a gridlock on a Sunday.
I'm telling you it is, mate.
I'm telling you it isn't, mate.
You ain't here. You're not around, are you?
No. I'm along.
You try and get from Leagrave to Luton.
Well, just
even on
don't
a
try.
Sunday.
All right. So on a Sunday, Dave, right? Was it the 26th and 27th September?
Yeah.
Right.
No,
So-
September, July. Oh, God.
You said September.
No, I'm saying this month.
Right. Okay. So on the Sunday at the end of this, I'll give you a slap in a minute.
You're not big enough, mate. When you are, you'll be too old.
Would you like a slap?
Yes.
Well, you're going to get one. Right. On the last Sunday of this month, you're planning to go to Berry Park, are you?
No, into Luton.
Why?
See my grandchildren.
Right. Well, you tough. Go a different way.
Well, you can't because that's all come to a gridlock.
So that's the only way. What? But there won't be a gridlock on the Sunday.
It will, mate. I'm telling you.
It's
It
a
was before they
Sunday.
done it.
There'll be a little bit of traffic on a Sunday.
Yeah.
If they didn't put new drain holes on, hang on a minute, Catherine. What's a drain hole?
Does he mean a drain cover?
Do you mean a drain cover, David?
Well, they're holes, but they've got to refill them in. If you go along Hatter's Way, you can I'm talking about.
Right. So you're telling me, right, that you don't want them to put new drain holes in?
Oh, no. What are they doing?
Well, you don't know. You've complained. You phoned up. They might be doing something really important. In fact, they're not going to close a road for something that's quite trivial, unless it's. In fact, saying that J.K. Rowling's getting her bush trim back, and they've had to close a whole road for it. Imagine that, Dave.
Yeah, but can we ask the council what they're doing on that road?
No.
Well, let's hope somebody will come on and explain it to us.
For a start, Luton Borough Council don't particularly like me, which is fine. Secondly, it's boring.
Well, I don't like you anyhow. I love you, Kath. I love you, Kelly.
Well, Kath's about to own you, mate.
It's not about drain holes, Dave. What are you talking about?
It is about drain holes.
I'll tell you what it's about.
Go on, Kath.
Have you got a pencil, Dave?
Yeah, go on.
Write down these words.
Yeah, pull it out of there and write this down.
Yeah, go on then.
Skid resistance. Minor cracks.
No,
they're filling in the cracks. You'd love that.
They are. They're surface dressing. They're surface dressing.
Hang on a second. David, where are you getting your information from?
Because if you look along the road...
No. Where are you getting your information from that they're doing drain holes?
Because if you go along the road...
Because you've looked.
Right,
You've looked
okay.
at the road.
Because-
Catherine, where are you getting your information from?
From Luton Borough Council. Right. And also, can I just pull you up on another point, David? And I hate to do this, but
Yeah. Has he got the dates wrong?
Well, Monday the 27th of July and Tuesday the 28th of July, not a weekend, last time I checked.
Sorry, 25th, 26th.
Right. 29th and Thursday, the 30th of July, 4 a.m. to 2 p.m. both days, they're going to be doing it again. They're dressing the road so that you don't get...
Hang on a minute. What times are they doing it?
Right. Monday 27th, Tuesday 28th, from 4 a.m. to 2 p.m.
They're in the night time,
Wait, through to 2.
They're doing it in the night time until mid-afternoon, and then they're going to clear it up.
If you see the signs leading into Hatter's Way, it's got up there, the 25th and the 26th, 6 a.m. They're closing.
Do you know what?
the road.
I'm late for the travel, Dave. I'm going to cut you off.
Yeah. Okay, cheerio then.
Ta-ta.
Bye-bye.
Have we satisfied you, Dave?
No.
Thanks for calling.
Goodbye, slackers.
Don't be so rude.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Queuing on the M25 clockwise after an accident at junction 19 for Watford. It was completely blocked until a couple of minutes ago. Busy from junction 17 at Maple Cross. The M1 going north. Delays because of an accident that's also on the hard shoulder between junction 12 for Flitwick and 13 for Milton Keynes South. They're looking very slow through that. A lorry, soon 2 cars involved. In Dunstable, the High Street North, delays because the traffic lights aren't phasing properly at the Church Street junction, the A505, only letting a few cars through at a time, making it very busy through the centre of Dunstable. Copel, Bedford Road, that's queuing because of an accident at Willington Road. It's busy on the A603 from Park Road. And in Bedford, Lewis has called to say it's very busy on Paul Radcliffe Way through the roadworks at Clapham Road. Tom Watts, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Lewis.
A guzzler.
I beg your pardon, Dave. Leave us alone. Will you keep your mouth shut?
Just shut it, pal.
Steady on. Outrageous behaviour. 8:48. Oh, I've been so off on my timings today. It's Thursday, the 23rd of July. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Bedford Hospital says changes have been made following the death of a newborn baby there. A cyclist has been left with serious injuries after a hit and run in Goffs Oak in Hertfordshire last night. And an investigation is underway after a 12-year-old British girl died in a swimming accident on a school trip to France. Let's get the weather. Here's Sarah.
Beds, hearts and bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thanks very much indeed. A fine day today. Yes, it has become a little bit hazy, the sunshine out there at the moment, and that's the way we'll stay generally for the rest of the day. But at least we're dry and fine with a top temperature of 19 or 20 Celsius. A much more usable day today than tomorrow. Tomorrow, of course, we're tracking this area of low pressure, which is expected to bring us some rain not long after breakfast time. In fact, when I speak to you in 24 hours' time, I think the first of the rain may well be with us. There has been a lot of uncertainty and just about the positioning and timing and really how prolonged this rain is likely to be, particularly across Three Counties. Not Bush. That's me. Just in case you didn't hear that an hour ago, that's me. That he's mocking there. Anyway, Not Bush. Look at your app. I'm back with more later.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you.
Every Saturday morning from 6. David Prever.
Are you surprised to hear of people still leaving their dogs in cars in hot weather?
No, I'm not really. I think they're uneducated.
What did you do?
Broke the window at the back, the small, like a little quarter-light window, and I thought, I'll steal it on the Sweeney. You know, you put your elbow through. That
The Sweeney? Well,
David Prever.
hang on. Kristen, you've got to calm down.
I'd have plenty of water with me and my sun hat on and everything.
It's Prince Philip, who was a little bit agitated in the heat yesterday.
Drop the RAF word, I think, is the phrase.
If your weekend diary is looking empty and you're thinking, what shall I do? Let me fill it up for you.
David Prever. Every Saturday morning from 6 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
03459 455 555. We got any texts, Catherine, before I go to Andy and Mark Yates?
Let's have a little
Let's
look.
have a look at the Texie machine, the sexy Texie.
Oh, yeah, this is Adam in St Albans talking about the scandal in the newspaper about the mum who took a picture of her.
Such a made-up story. It's a laugh. Mum posts picture of Downs boy in washing machine, and you read the story. We are supposed to be outraged at this scumbag and a nutter. Because she's put a 2-year-old boy in the washing machine who's got Down syndrome, and she shut the door and she took a picture. Most of that isn't true. He climbed in there, she held the door shut, but it's still open a bit. She took a picture, then she got him out. That's what we do with parents. If my kids went towards the washing machine, I would pull them out and wouldn't allow them. They've tried to get in the washing machine. If I found the kid in the washing machine, I'd take a picture, then I'd get the kid out. Of course I would.
I've got pictures of my kids in boxes, washing baskets.
Boxes.
They
They love
cats.
boxes.
I've been in a tumble dryer.
Is it? Well, that was recently, though.
Yeah, I know.
Tumble dryers are massive.
It was a small one. I had to unplug it first.
Tiny
just in
tum.
case.
Tiny tum.
Safety first.
Yes.
Well, anyway, Adam in St Albans says that mum didn't do anything wrong. Maybe what they're offended by was the idea that parents of Down's children can have fun.
Yeah, I think that's the thing.
They mess around too. They can do daft things too.
Yeah, the underlying tone seems to be that this is an exploitation of somebody who is even more vulnerable than your, in inverted commas, average 2-year-old. That this is mocking the disabled. Well, it's not.
It's just done a silly thing.
It's just a kid doing a silly thing. She should be applauded for treating this child as she would treat any other child. She should be applauded for that, not paraded around like that.
What's the idea that one of her neighbours has had a go trying to attack her?
Yeah, neighbour went and... anyway, we'll talk to... I think Dealey's taking that to the streets in a bit. First of all, Andy's in Markgate. Morning, Andy.
Hello, Ian.
Hello, Andy. What you got for us? That was a heavy sigh.
No, it's all right. It's quite all right. I just wanted to say that I think the campaign for Penn School is a very noble project by yourself and the team. Because I think they should be saved.
Well, it's not. It's not really. We're not. It's not really a campaign. All of us are here are to varying degrees really peed off with what's going on at Penn School in High Wycombe, and some of us are furious at seeming the lack of contact that the trustees of the charitable trust have had. They won't speak to us. That's fair enough, but they won't speak to the parents. But who they will speak to is their mate who runs a PR company in Soho in London, who sends us increasingly stroppy emails. Well, it's. I guess this is kind of us doing our job, Andy. Really, all this messing around with Dave and stuff is a bit of fun, but that's what it's about, really. Stuff like that.
I know. But it's a very good thing that you're highlighting there.
Well, thank you.
I won't call it a campaign, but I really support it.
Well, thank you.
I hope that it gets some support nationally, quite honestly. I know you said about it might do.
I can't say too much, but I know that there are two bigger organisations than this show on BBC Three Counties Radio who are sniffing around the story. They got in touch with me and Catherine throughout the day yesterday saying, oh, this story is incredible. Well done for the way you did it. Can you give us a bit more detail? So fingers crossed that these kids get a louder voice than just us shouting.
Yeah, great.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Andy. I really appreciate you saying that. Thank you. I never know how to take compliments, but as it's for the team, I'm more than happy to allow that one to come on. But yeah, there's fingers crossed that these two bigger news outlets will pick up this story and run with it. Partly because of the way, partly bizarrely, because of the press statement and the way we dealt with the press statement from the PR company. That some of these people have gone, oh. That's an odd way of dealing with this. What an interesting story. So Tim from the PR company, thank you. You have helped us immeasurably. It's much appreciated.
But contrary to what you thought, it wasn't fun.
No, yeah, send them out. Sorry to spoil your fun. It was fun talking about a load of deaf and autistic kids that aren't going to have a school and are heartbroken. Yeah, that was fun. It's part of the bants that we do here on this show. But Tim, thank you so much. You've been more helpful than you will ever know. Right, so Justin.
Boss, good morning.
Good morning, boss. If you want to hear the Penn School stuff, by the way, there was a podcast that went out yesterday. Kelly put it together. It is excellently put together. That's not the end of the story either. That's not the end of the story. There will be plenty more to come. Justin.
Yes.
Story, Mum, 2-year-old kid. He's got Down syndrome. I don't think that's relevant to the story. He's in a washing machine. She takes a picture. There's outrage. We're meant to be outraged at this story. I'm not outraged. It's a mum and a kid having a laugh. Brilliant. Well, any parent will tell you, I've got so many pictures of my kids in inappropriate and awkward and uncomfortable positions because they do. And then you take the picture very quickly. I mean, it may be a slight on Western civilization. We take a picture, then we get them out of the hole.
Because our parents would have just told us about it endlessly at grown-up parties, years after the fact. Now we've got the footage.
But guys, the pictures you're talking about there, if you took that photograph, would you then put it on social media?
Yeah.
Would you do that?
I don't put pictures of my kids on Facebook. So no, I wouldn't. But I wouldn't see a problem if someone did because people share pictures of their kids.
Yeah, I don't go on Facebook very often. I only have my friends on Facebook, and if I was going to put a silly picture on, I'd put a silly picture on.
Okay.
Have we fallen out, Justin?
Not at all. No, not at all. I was simply asking the question. I mean, looking at that photograph myself personally, if somebody's taken that, and as she says that the child was laughing and joking at the time, had an obsession with washing machines. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think that there's two stories. Is that right? And also, would you put a picture like that on social media? That's all.
I do think that we overshare on. on Facebook in terms of what we show.
Let's be honest, though. That's what social media is. That and cats.
Yeah.
And pictures and take.
Great cat videos out there, by the way. Some crackers.
If you go and Google, go to YouTube and type in cats in washing machines. It's hours of hilarious fun. Justin, you've taken this to the streets.
Yeah, I've taken to the streets in the last 10 minutes or so. I've taken the picture. I've got people's opinions. Here's what happened.
I think it's a load of rubbish. I don't think she's done it.
You think that's a fake photograph?
I think it's a fake photograph.
Okay. Let's just say the photograph is real, okay? Yeah. I've got no reason to doubt it is. A 2-year-old child in a washing machine. She's taken a photograph, put it on Facebook. Is that acceptable?
No, it isn't acceptable.
Tell me why.
Well, it's not the kind of thing you would do with a 2-year-old child.
Well, apparently the 2-year-old child really enjoyed it.
I don't think so.
Do you think that photograph is acceptable?
No, I don't. But, I mean, the internet's a service where anyone can put anything, and it should remain so. So even though I find that abhorrent,
abhorrent,
I would never do anything to act against the internet.
There you go. Great answers on the streets this morning.
He would never do anything to act against the internet, because you take the internet on, my friend, you take on a mighty beast.
Yeah, the big guys.
Justin, excellent stuff. Well done again for yesterday.
Thank you. Back here.
Get Kath to send you the emails we've had from the PR company.
I'd love to see them, actually. I would love to see them. Again, I've worked in PR. I know how it works. To actually sit down...
Maybe you want to teach this guy a thing or two.
Well, I say, to actually sit down and put a statement together takes hours.
Yeah.
So all we were asking for was a few minutes with the trustees on the phone. That hasn't happened. I'm hoping that is going to happen at some point.
Do you know what?
Week.
I'm going to say this now. I'm going to guarantee this. We're going to get them at some point. We're going to get one of the trustees or a former trustee at some point. I don't have any inside information. We are. That's how determined we are not to let this story go. Justin, thank you very much indeed. Right, let's get the travel.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Queuing on the M25 clockwise after an accident earlier after junction 19 for Watford. It's still busy from Maple Cross. Northbound on the M1, delays because of an accident that's now been moved out of the way between junction 12 for Flitwick and 13 for Bedford and Milton Keynes South. In the centre of Dunstable, long delays on the High Street North at the junction with Church Street because the traffic lights aren't phasing properly. It's busy on Church Street from Priory Road. Tom Watts, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Tom, thank you very much indeed. So a podcast went out yesterday. It's quite a straight one, but it's an important one. You don't have to listen to it. I'm fully aware it might not be to everyone's taste, you know, but it's there if you want it, and it's a cracking story. We're about to record the links for the podcast that will go out tomorrow, so must go. Ta-ta! Ta-ta!
Not Bush.
There we go.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Iain. Good morning. Welcome to the JVS show. I'm Jonathan Vernon-Smith. It's Thursday. It's 9 o'clock, and on today's Big Phone In, do you think it would be better if mums did stay at home with their children? As the school year draws to a close, a new report published today reveals exactly how much guilt and peer pressure working mums with school-aged children feel. The survey amongst mothers with 5 to 16-year-olds reveals that 34% of the 1,000 mums surveyed admit a tension between themselves and their stay-at-home peers. 62% of mums say the majority of play dates are made at the school gates, which means fewer invitations for children of working couples. But is it just a necessity that many mums have to go back to work now? This morning I'd like to hear your reaction to this. Do you think it would be better if mums did stay at home with their children? In an ideal world, I'd love your call on 03459 455 555.
This is the JVS show
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
I'll take your call in just a second, but first let's get the latest BBC News at 9:01. Here's Simon Oxley.
The headlines: Bedford Hospital say changes made after baby death, cyclist injured in Hertfordshire hit and run, and police search for missing man in Milton Keynes.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Bedford Hospital say changes have been made following the death of a newborn baby there. At the inquest into the death of Casey Garrett, Coroner Thomas Osborne questioned whether Bedford Hospital is a suitable location to train midwives. He said there was a catalogue of errors leading up to the birth. The hospital trusts say they have already implemented a range of recommendations. Roy Lilly is a former NHS Trust chairman.
To say that this hospital shouldn't be training midwives because of what has happened here, I disagree with that. I think that if midwives in training are not exposed to the full gamut of the techniques of their craft and their skills and their profession, then that isn't training.
A cyclist has been left with serious injuries after a hit and run in Hertfordshire last night. The woman in her 40s was found in Silver Street in Goffs Oak by a member of the public at around 7:45. Herts police say it's believed